What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 592 of #AskGSM here today for Tuesday, almost said Wednesday, April 1st, 2025. April Fool, she was in the chat. She's actually here on the show today for the first time in a long time, probably since, I feel like we did another episode in the last couple of months, but I know you were on the, what is this, 592? You were on 500 with me.
I was?
We went live for 500, but that was one of the rare times where, like, now we go live every week. You were on that 500th live episode, and the audio quality was awful because it didn't go through my mic. It went through, like, my computer. That was, like, the same day, for reference, that Secret Invasion debuted. The Marvel show.
God,
I don't know if you've been on since then. So I think you may have jinxed it, and that show sucked after that.
Yeah, it was
so
bad.
I blame you.
Okay.
But you're back. Alexis is on the show here today to help answer some questions from Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube, all the usual places.
I'm also working, so if I'm looking... I'm looking at the computer, so
she's multitasking.
I really wanted to be here.
This is why we love her. She texted me yesterday saying, you know, her dilemma and whatnot, and that she was working from home today. She immediately transitioned into, "Can I come on the show?" And I said, "That's fine. That's totally fine." So here we are. If you did miss it, you could have seen her face a couple days ago on the WrestleMania 26 live reaction video that we did. Live stream here on the channel, the watch along. That was on Friday. Go back and check that out. Good show. We had a fun time. Might do another one of those either this weekend, next weekend, maybe not at all. That's why you should always have the notifications on. Turn the notifications on. You'll be notified every single time we go live here on the channel, every single time a new video goes up, and you can be among those that participate in the watch-alongs and the live streams and all that other stuff we got going on here on the channel, including the Tuesday Q&A videos and WrestleRant Radio every single Thursday with myself and Mr. Marceau. So, that being said, if you want to send in a question to this very show, you could do so by tweeting me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant with the hashtag AskGSM. Find me on Facebook as well, facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews. Drop a comment on the post I usually put up on Tuesday nights, if not on the wall itself. And last but certainly not least, drop your question down below in the comment section on this very video. I'll include your question in next week's edition. But also, in addition to that, if you're joining us live, you can drop a question in the chat. We'll get to it at some point. Might even get to it right now, so let's pull up the chat. I know Alexis was in the chat a little bit earlier on. Daniel's here asking or saying, "What a question," because I had put for the headline video, "Worst babyface in WWE history," or wrestling history, rather. And he already said Charlotte Flair, LOL, Gable Steveson. Alexis, obviously, in the chat. She's multitasking. She's in the chat. She's working. She's here on the show. Fernando is here. Millennial's here as well. What's up? Fernando said, Millennial said, "Good morning, Graham. How you doing?" We're doing well. Thanks for asking. Fernando said J. Now, he spelled J with an A-Y. I'm thinking, is he disrespecting the dead? Is he talking about Jay Briscoe? Like, what the fuck? But he's talking about Jay Uso. He's talking about Jay Uso. For as over as Jay is, I'm going to say no to that, but we're going to get into that a little bit later on. Fernando says, "Hello,
Hi,
Alexis."
Fernando. I think you're wrong.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Noob said, "As for the worst babyface, it's Charlotte Flair and possibly Asuka." This guy is the biggest Asuka fan I've ever met in my entire life. He is disrespecting Asuka as the worst babyface of all time. That is honestly amazing that I'm surprised Millennial Noob said that.
That's a really hot take. Huh. I don't know. I don't agree with that.
We'll get into it. That is the question for today's show. You can also support the channel, the WrestleRant brand. Buy a t-shirt designed by this very person right next to me. The ProWrestlingTees.com /WrestleRant store. You can check it out. Be sure to get yourself a t-shirt. And yeah, we're going to answer some questions here from YouTube. I'll go back to the chat after a couple of the questions here. And yeah, then we'll probably just go from there. So let me close the chat. Oh, Richie, before I close the chat, Richie is here.
Hi, Richie.
He said, "We are so back."
Yes, we are.
Yes. So, all right. We'll get to the chat back in a little bit. Let me go back to the questions here. Let me see. Micah Does It sent this in last week. Perfect question, I thought, to answer first on the April Fool's Day episode of the show. And also, if the mic's a little quiet, I apologize. I have to, share the mic with Alexis and vice versa, so it's not as close to me as usual. So if it's quieter, I apologize.
Sorry, guys.
I think it's as loud as it possibly can get. It is. So I just have to talk louder. So I apologize. But anyway, Mike has said from YouTube, do you think TNA is getting ready to sell the company, and what if Vince McMahon buys it? That was not an April Fool's Day question, although I thought it was fitting to start the episode with that here today. Do I think TNA is getting ready to sell? No, I do not. I think he's asking that because, and I could be wrong, he may have sent this in before that, but last Thursday or Friday, Gail Kim, maybe in last Tuesday, Gail Kim got fired from TNA.
She got fired?
Yeah, she was very well liked backstage, and that was a whole dilemma, and that's in addition to all the other people they've let go, and Scott D'Amore and whatnot. So people had this theory that maybe they're getting rid of some of their bigger internal employees and whatnot, so they could prep for a sale to WWE, which is what WWE had done. They got rid of a lot of people, employees, wrestlers, whatever, in preparation for a sale back in 2023, 2022, 2021. I don't think that's the case here. I don't think WWE and TNA would go ahead. I think Salamonster has said this, but I agree. I don't think they would go ahead and announce a working partnership back in January of this year for the next 4 or 5 years if the intent was to then acquire them soon after. Down the road, I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm not putting it past WWE. I don't think they're prepping for a sale right now. I think this was a different issue. They just have a different regime in there right now. I think they're happy working with WWE. It's a great beneficial partnership. WWE outright owning them and then continuing to run it as a separate entity, to me, doesn't really accomplish anything for WWE. They would get the tape library, but what the fuck do they even really care about that at this point? They can use their tape library now working with the company.
Yeah, I feel like if they didn't have NXT, then TNA would be perfect for them, and they could. I mean, they would have already bought it if they really wanted it.
Yeah.
So, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
What was she doing back? Was she like?
Worked with the women. I think she was just a top employee in the company behind the scenes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what. Okay, so I saw reports of people saying, "Oh, she could go to WWE," like, which is true for anybody, but that must be why, because I saw that the other day.
Yeah, I mean, she is free to go anywhere now. WWE, AEW, whatever. I would hope one of those companies would pick her up. I guess time will tell. But the second part of his question: what if Vince McMahon buys it? We hear all this talk right now about Vince starting up his own separate entertainment entity. We talked about here on the channel a couple of weeks ago, if Vince started up his own company, who would be a part of it? First of all, Chris Jericho would leave Tony Khan in a heartbeat to go be with Vince McMahon. I can guarantee you of that.
Yep.
Among other people. Brock would be another one I would probably see, floating to Vince and being his number one guy.
That would be like his main character.
Yeah.
Because he only does that for the money, so Vince would pay him really well.
Brock and Jericho would be the Jericho Omega of their Double or Nothing, the first Vince McMahon promotion. I think I asked everyone in the chat a couple of weeks ago, what would be the name of Vince McMahon's promotion? It could be TNA. They could just buy TNA. And they'd be working with TNA. They have no way out of it.
It would be called TNA, but it would actually be called the TNA that Vince Russo named it.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't go by the abbreviation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I say hashtag book it. His second question, what is your WrestleMania Mount Rushmore? Any matches from WrestleMania 1 through 40? I love this question. I almost went with this as the headline question, but we've had a lot of WrestleMania-themed questions here on the show recently, so I did something else, which we'll get to later on. But I obviously wrote it down here in the document, which you can see. My Mount Rushmore of matches of WrestleMania. I try to include one of... I mean, honestly, this really wasn't that hard for me. I try to include one from, each era. So, Hogan-Andre from WrestleMania 3. Not the best WrestleMania match or even main event by a long shot, but the biggest probably ever in terms of business and whatnot. Hogan-Andre from 3. Stone Cold and Bret Hart from WrestleMania 13. Probably the best, if not one of the best. It's going into the WrestleMania, or the Hall of Fame this year, the WWE Hall of Fame over Mania weekend. That's from the Attitude Era. 3, Taker and Michaels from WrestleMania 25. To me, the best WrestleMania match in history, if not the best WWE match in WWE history.
Is that 1?
1, yeah.
Okay.
1, yeah. Not the one that we watched, the 20... That one was great, too, but the first one from 25.
Surprised you didn't put Bret Hart and Vince...
Oh, yeah, I mean that barely made the cut. From 26?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an honorable mention.
Okay.
Yeah, no holds barred match. And then 4, Roman... We should have just done everything just trolling today on April Fool's Day. I should have just made every question like, give me a bullshit question. I'll give you a bullshit answer.
We should, yeah.
If you're in the chat right now, if you have any dumb questions, feel free to ask them. Okay, and I'll give you a dumb fucking answer.
Yeah.
But anyway, my fourth one, Roman and Cody from WrestleMania 40. I think that encompasses like the recent era, a lot of returns, the changing of the guard a little bit, dawning of a new era with Cody as champion. I think those would be my four. I mean, I know you don't have like the same vast knowledge of WrestleMania, but would you do any other matches? I mean, even if it's something insignificant in the overall general theme, but for you, it would make your Mount Rushmore.
I agree with almost all of them. The only one I would switch out is Austin and Hart, and okay. I would switch that one out for Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, and Becky.
Okay.
Not because it was a good match, because when I was watching that, I was like falling asleep, and it was not really a good match, and the finish was terrible.
And then we got stranded.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's that. So RJ, if you're here, you're probably laughing your ass off right now. But I would say that because of how amazing like the women were during that time, and like how it transcended the women from there on out. It was a really historical moment for women for wrestling. So I would definitely swap that one out. Hogan and Andre, obviously. Reigns and Rhodes is the second match is the first one I think of, just because that's like my favorite one.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, that's the best one that they've ever done. And then Undertaker, Michaels, yeah, I agree with that. So.
All right, good pick. I mean, listen, I know you're gonna throw the women a pick here because you're thinking it's Women's International Month. That ended yesterday. All right, we don't have to do a pity pick for the women.
What? No. What the fuck?
We don't have to pay respect to the women anymore. It's not March.
He can say that because he has a woman on the show.
Yeah, I couldn't say that if she wasn't here.
Exactly.
We're going to do 2 more questions, and then I'll open back up the chat and see what you guys are saying and whatnot.
I need to look away from the chat because I'm already starting
to laugh. I could see it in the corner of my eye.
I have it open.
Because the problem is, and I've done this before, if I go back and forth with the chat after every question, we will be here for the next 5 hours. Yeah. Which is not a problem. Well, I mean, it is a problem.
Yeah, it is.
I would love doing it. I have other stuff we got to do. We both got stuff we got to do.
Yeah.
So after every bunch of questions, like Mike has got 2 more here, then we'll go back to the chat.
Yeah.
Even if you're talking about the Vince thing and what I just said and whatever. This is a great question, and I'm glad you were here for this one.
I know, I saw it.
I already wrote down mine, obviously. Did you look at mine or no? Okay,
no.
Don't look at mine. Wait until I say it. So
okay, eyes closed.
Actually, you know what? Before I will not answer first. I'll have you answer first, because if I answer, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I agree with all those," like the Mania one. All right, so I'll have you go first. Do not look at my picks. He asked, and he did not know you would be here today. What are your top 3 Disney? This is non-wrestling related. Top 3 Disney Channel and Nickelodeon shows growing up as a kid. 3 for each channel.
Oh, thank you.
All right,
okay.
I'm gonna
go away from that because I don't want to. Okay, number 1 is Wizards of Waverly Place, for the sole reason that I love Selena Gomez, and I was a huge Selena Gomez fan when I was younger. But also after listening to the podcast that they did, that David DeLuise and I'm sorry, what's her face? The girl that plays Harper. They did a podcast talking about the writing and how it was very unique for its time, for all the seasons but the last one. So, and I agree with that. It was very revolutionary for the writing and how it stood out to Disney. So, Wizards of Waverly Place, That's So Raven, because I loved the concept and I loved the look of the show, like how colorful it was. And then 3rd Disney one.
Honestly, this was not easy for me.
Yeah,
Nickelodeon, I think, was easier for me than Disney Channel. And I grew up as a Disney Channel kid.
There's a lot. Like,
I'll go
but the question is, like, I mean, I haven't really watched That's So Raven, now. But Wizards of Waverly Place, I actually rewatched 2 years ago, almost, or a year and a half ago, in my last semester of college. And it was still really good. It was really funny, and it was really clever, and the acting was really good. But, like, Hannah Montana, for example, I can't say that because I started watching it again, and it sucks. I'm sorry, but it's a bad show. The writing is so cringy, the acting is really bad. I'm gonna probably go with like a Kim Possible.
Okay.
Because I used to watch that in the morning. It's between like Kim Possible and Lilo and Stitch. Because I used to watch those two early in the morning before school. So, but there's definitely one that I'm not thinking of. As for Nickelodeon, I don't know.
You don't have three off the top, like at least one?
Definitely Drake and Josh. That one's really funny. Still funny to this day. iCarly, very unique, very funny, still to this day. Very weird, but in a good way. And then the third one...
Come on.
What? Well,
you know
okay, well, yeah,
is.
Obviously SpongeBob.
Okay, there you go.
But I was trying to include like a Nick at Night or something. I used to watch Nick at Night all the time.
How do you do top 3 Nickelodeon shows and not include SpongeBob?
Okay, well, obviously SpongeBob is in there.
Well, there you go. Okay.
I just feel like it's so above that why would you even include it in there?
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Asking for the best question for the best shows. You don't include.
I don't know.
Just because it's exempt. No, you can include an honorable mention. All that. Zoe 101. I googled it before. I answered it this morning, but when I was putting together my answers and whatnot. Zoe 101 was there. All that. The Amanda Show.
Oh, Amanda Show. I loved the Amanda Show.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I'll take out
iCarly.
Let me
take out Drake and Josh.
No, let me take out iCarly and I'll put Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, and SpongeBob because the Amanda Show I loved when I was younger.
There you go. All right, my 3 here. My 3 favorite Disney shows first. Lilo and Stitch, no question. Number 1. Lilo and Stitch, Mark, well established here on the show. That is my number 1. 2. This honestly was not easy for me to come up with 3 shows. I thought Lilo and Stitch. 2. My favorite live action show, and I haven't rewatched it, although we did rewatch one episode a couple months ago, Sweet Life.
Yeah.
That would probably be mine.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Sweet Life is Zack and Cody, but like, I couldn't think of another live action. That's So Raven I loved, but that wouldn't be among my favorites. Kim Possible was great. I recently rewatched Recess and American Dragon and I'd probably put Proud Family on there now, but not when I was growing up. Although I liked it then too.
That's a good show.
Phil of the Future was an underrated one. I liked Phil of the Future. But I don't know if I would put any of those in my top 3. So for my third choice, I put... might be Even Stevens. I thought that was a great show. With Shia LaBeouf from the time that it was on the air. Probably Even Stevens, but even then, that's not like my favorite show. I also like Lizzie McGuire. It's another one.
Good one.
I was gonna say Boy Meets World, but I don't think it ever aired on Disney Channel. I think they aired the syndicated episodes on Disney Channel. So I don't know if that counts or not. I don't think they ever aired new episodes.
Are you talking about Girl Meets World? Like that was on Disney?
No, Boy Meets World, the original show.
No, I know Boy Meets World, but I'm saying like Girl Meets World is solely a Disney show.
Yeah.
So maybe you're mixing that up.
No, I saw one episode of Girl Meets World.
Oh.
It wasn't paled in comparison to everything else. What do you mean? I'm talking about Boy Meets World.
No, I know what Boy Meets World is, and I've seen it before, but I didn't know it was a Disney show.
It is, yeah. Oh. That's why Girl Meets World happens, because the thing is, I think it might have been an ABC Family show, but I could be wrong.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I think it aired on Disney Channel, though.
They also did that with Adventures in Babysitting. It wasn't a Disney movie, but then Sabrina Carpenter, I think, did the remake of it.
Yeah, because they own the rights for it.
Yeah, so I thought it was something
I don't know. But Nickelodeon, honestly, I was more of a Disney kid, but I think Nickelodeon, I enjoyed the Disney movies more. I could probably come up with 5 ones that I enjoy. Nickelodeon was easier, honestly, for me, because I thought the shows might have been overall better. Not even might have been, they were. SpongeBob, number 1. Drake and Josh is my 2. And then the third one, I was like, all right, what do I come up with here? And then I almost wrote down, I got to look back at my search, because there was one show that I saw, and then I was like, that might be perfect. Ended up settling on Jimmy Neutron. Great show.
That's a good one. I loved that show. That was a good one.
Let me look at let me Google it real quick. Nickelodeon shows 2000s. I was gonna pick. I liked iCarly. Danny Phantom was gonna be my other one.
Yes, Danny Phantom is a classic. Rugrats too. I loved Rugrats.
Oh, Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah. Ned's Declassified. Yeah, they definitely had better shows.
Ned's Declassified I was put as an honorable mention for me. I used to love that show.
Yeah, I love that show. I don't know if that'd be my favorite, but that'd be an honorable mention.
My Life as a Teenage Robot. I used to love that show too.
Yeah, for me it's Jimmy Neutron. I was always more of a Jimmy Neutron fan more than Fairly Odd Parents. That show was good, but it was weird.
Well, and they're also still doing new episodes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, or a spin-off or something, yeah. Hey Arnold, man, I liked Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold wasn't bad. Zoe 101 is okay.
Wild Thornberries.
I think, like, Amanda Show, for me, at least it was very innovative in what it did for the future of Nickelodeon, and, like, I mean,
the people involved, too.
Yeah, well,
Kenan
especially...
Thompson was on that show.
Yeah, what it did for, like, people's careers and what it did for TV in general was very unique. Like a children's SNL, it was very, I don't know, and it was funny.
Was it Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network that had Big Time Rush?
That was Nickelodeon.
Would that not be in your top 3?
No, that wouldn't be in my top 3, but that would definitely, that and Victorious would be.
I was gonna say Victorious.
Honorable mentions. Because they were at, like, a weird time where I'm thinking of what I liked as a kid and what I specifically remember watching as a kid. I do remember watching those, but it was at a time where I was, like, kind of getting out of watching stuff like that, or they were, like, kind of stopping making shows that were of that caliber.
That makes sense. Last question here from Micah. He said, we are in episode 591, now 592. What's the plan for 600? Well, in the past, every 100 episodes they went live, but now we go live every single week. There's really nothing special about that. So as of now, nothing. Maybe Alexis can come back that day, but other than that, there's really no plan. Or I can have you on the phone or something. I don't know. We can figure it out. But yeah, no plan for 600.
I think we should do, like, a challenge or something. I don't know what well, there's people that go live and they, like, either play games or they do, like, some sort of challenge over video. I don't know what that would be, but if any of you guys have a suggestion, please comment, because I was already thinking that for, like, the past, like, since you started going live, I've noticed, obviously, you have the episode number on the top. I've thought about that. Like, what is he gonna, what should we do? Like, I don't know. Like, do we just get, like, a cake that says 600 and, you know,
eat it on the air?
Have it and then have the podcast at the same time? I don't know. A little mini mukbang? I don't know.
Probably nothing. Let's put it that way.
No, we have to do something.
We're live. That is special enough.
But you already do that now.
Great. Then that's it.
I guarantee you everyone in the comments is not going to agree with that. They're going to say, no, you should do something special.
Got to give a good idea, right? All right, let's pull up the chat now. A lot of questions here. A lot of chats. Ahmed also joining, saying, sup, guys?
Hi, Ahmed.
Ahmed, what's going on? Johnny joining as well. Tina trying to save money. Richie said, the worst babyface, in his opinion, in wrestling history is a tie between Jack Swagger and Humberto Del Rio. The WrestleMania 29 World Heavyweight title match. That's perfect. Boeing Studios. Graham, Tom Clark here. Let's get together, or let's pod together again soon. Tom, you met Tom. First of all, Tom, thanks for joining us. Great to see you in the chat. Second of all, Tom, remember we went to, when we were in Chicago for All Out in 2021, we saw Shang-Chi with Phil.
Oh, yeah.
Chris. Yeah. Remember Tom and his son was there as
well?
Yes, that's Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Tom, thank you for joining. We will definitely have to pod together soon. That'd be great. Richie said, get Gail Kim at the Performance Center ASAP to help mold the future. I agree. Honestly, either there or in... I'm sorry, what is the next one? Either there or in AEW to help the women's division. That would be great.
Yeah.
Richie said, I also rescind my... Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
I rescind my answer. The worst babyface is Tyreek.
I agree. And this is just a warning for Mr. Tyreek.
He's not a babyface.
When you decide... Okay, well, whatever. But when you decide to make a comment, because I know you're watching. You better watch yourself.
He's here.
Motherfucker.
So, you know, the thing is, though, you're not in the chat. So, like... I mean,
I'm in the chat.
Okay. So here's what we need to do. In the past, when I've been going off with the questions, I'll see your text and I'll stop what I'm doing. Because if I don't have the chat up, I'll be like, all right, you texted me? Ahmed, or not Ahmed, sorry. No disrespect, Ahmed. Tyreek. Tyreek is in the chat. I'll fucking stop what I'm doing. He's here. We need to address him immediately. You know what I mean? So maybe you need to, like, keep an eye on it simultaneously. You're still a mod. So, like...
Oh, yeah.
Gotta keep... Maybe you got scared that you put him in timeout and we haven't seen him since. That's probably what it is.
Tyreek, you better watch yourself.
Do not put him back in timeout. Do not scare him off.
No, I'm looking now. He didn't. I haven't seen him, so you know it's on site, Tyreek. When you decide to leisurely comment and to be like, GTG, what are you doing?
Best babyface in wrestling history? Love Ziggler. That's a no-brainer.
Yes, I agree.
Ahmed said, "Trust me, no one will match Vince's pro wrestling promotion. Oh, no one will watch. That's a different question. No one will watch pro wrestling promotion." Maria joining us. Maria, thank you for joining us. Saying what's good.
Hi, Maria.
Is the sky blue? LOL. I forgot what that was in reference to, but thank you for chatting in. Ahmed said, "Yeah, Brett versus Vince Mania 26 was awesome." Yeah, Ahmed was there in the chat when we watched it on Friday. So, Maria said, "Wait." Richie also said, before I get to Maria's next comment, "Why were Mason, Ryan, and Nathan Jones robbed of WrestleMania main events? They were clearly the future of the business." And Veer. I mean, come on.
I agree.
Veer should have been at Mania in a main event. Not even.
But I mean, honestly, all jokes aside, though, that guy got robbed.
He did.
He did, and that is a leg that I will stand on, or however you say that saying. I don't know, but that is something that I will forever defend. Is Veer Mahan.
I will die on that hill.
I will die on that hill. That's right. I will die on that hill. Me and Fernando.
You know what Nick Khan said recently?
What?
That they're going to be doing a PLE in India. With what talent? They have no Indian talent on their roster, do they?
They have
They fired them all.
I don't even. No, they have none. We've already looked this up. They have none. I can make a whole episode on this. I already told him he should make a video on it after we watched the Veer Mahan movie.
$1 Million Arm.
The $1 Million Arm movie. I mean, seriously, they don't give a shit about Indian talent. They don't care.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Maria asked, how did you get back home from being stranded? Had a call an Uber, but the only reason we were able to get an Uber was because other people had called one and it came. I had called one before then, it didn't come. No, it did not show up. So we had to follow this other couple that was nice enough to allow us to be in the same Uber as them. And thankfully, we did not look intimidating to them enough for them to think, all right, these people are going to kill us. We'll let them get in our Uber. And then we went back to their hotel. Not their hotel room, to be fair. Just their hotel. And then we waited at that hotel for another Uber to take us from that hotel in like fucking New Jersey or wherever it was, and Uber all the way back to Brooklyn. And it was expensive, but it was better than being fucking dead at MetLife. If we did not get that Uber, rumor is we would still, I mean, legend says we would still be there today.
Yeah, it was.
In the rain.
Honestly, though, if you go to my YouTube channel, actually, I don't think I have the vlog public right now, but I have a video on there because I used to do vlogs when we went on like trips and stuff. Now I just do TikToks, but now I'm just too lazy to do it at all. But I have a vlog on there, and I filmed when we were stranded, and it was frustrating. It was like they closed down the Ubers. They weren't allowing people to walk off the property because it was jaywalking. They were fining people for jaywalking, even though, like, where the fuck are we gonna go? Like, we have nowhere to go. We were surrounded by highway, so I don't even know where people were walking. I hope they're okay. Taxis, like, couldn't even get a taxi. It was pouring rain. It was freezing outside. It was New Jersey, so, you know, take that with what you will. It probably smelled like shit. And yeah, we were just sitting there until like 3 a.m, and this couple, you know, they said what they said.
Nice.
They were very nice because they were like sitting right behind us, and we were talking about how we were trying to get an Uber, and they were like, "Hey, we just got one. It leaves in like it gets here in 5 minutes," and so we had to like run with them to the Uber car, and we were just like, you know, I don't even give a shit where they go. I need to get back to the hotel room. And then this lady, like this news reporter lady, messaged me on Twitter the next day because I was like tweeting about it, and she was like, "Oh, can I contact you to get on a phone call for a story?" And I was like, "Sure," and she never did.
Maria also said Macho Man versus the Ultimate Warrior Mania 7 on her Mountain Rushmore of Mania matches. That's a good one.
Ooh.
I enjoyed that match. That's a great match. Richie said, why was Giant Gonzalez versus Undertaker? Why was it the best Mania match? Richie is going all in with this April Fool's shit posting today, which I appreciate. That match, I will tell you right now, not that match, but the rematch that they had at SummerSlam, the casket match, I think, was so bad, I may have actually been laughing while I was reviewing it here on the channel. I think I did a video about SummerSlam 93, maybe about 5-10 years ago. And it was so bad I was laughing about it. That is how bad that match was. It was terrible. Ahmed said, breaking news, Vince buys TNA. He also said Drake and Josh got to be up there. Jennifer Stone.
Yes, that's her name, Jennifer Stone from Wizards.
Oh, the girl
that plays Harper. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
And then Richie said Lilo and Stitch and Lilo and Stitch. Alexis, come on.
I know. I liked that show.
I agree, Richie.
I like that show. It just didn't resonate with me as much as it did with Graham.
Ahmed must have been a big Wizards fan. He said to Alexis, Jackson and Oliver carry the show. They were so much.
That's Hannah Montana.
Oh.
Yeah.
They were so much so great. You mean?
They did. Honestly, I do kind of agree that at least Jackson did. He was like 32, 33 when he was in that show. He's the brother.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like he was like in his 30s doing that, which is insane.
Yeah. Fernando said Shawn versus Kurt Angle on the Mania Mount Rushmore. That's a good one. Great match for Mania 21. Ahmed said, Drake, you call me a liar. Josh, well, you ain't call me a truther.
I ain't calling you a truther. I feel like a lot of like the delivery of how I say jokes can be thanks to Josh.
Do you want to read off Richie's next one?
Amanda, please.
Nathaniel said, hi, I think Cope will turn heel this Sunday on FTR if they don't win. You think Cope will turn heel? I don't think so. They're teasing an FTR heel turn. For him to turn on them wouldn't make sense. Yeah, Richie said, my King Graham with the top pick. I agree. Nathaniel said, I loved iCarly growing up. I liked iCarly.
Who said that?
Nathaniel.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Nathaniel, for the chat.
That was a good show. I honestly, like, the older I get, the more I realize that Jerry Trainer was the best part of that show. He was so funny.
Yeah, he was good on Drake and Josh, too.
Yeah. Yes, as Crazy Steve. I dressed up as Crazy Steve in high school. Fun fact.
I don't know
for Halloween.
I don't know what his name was, but that Rue the Day kid was so fucking annoying.
Neville?
Fuck Neville, dude. Fuck Neville. Neville was so fucking Rue the Day, Carly Shay. I mean, that's the point, because he's a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking asshole, though. Fuck that kid. Fernando said, are you going to see the Lilo and Stitch movie? Brother, I'll be there first day.
Fun fact, that is 2 days after my birthday, so I know how we're spending my birthday weekend.
You know, fuck Disney, man, because, listen, if they waited a year for that movie to come out, it could have come out in June of 2026. The month would be 626, Stitch's number, and June 26 next year is on a fucking Friday. What the fuck? You could have had the movie come out on that day. It does not make sense to me.
Go off.
Disney, come on. Listen to what I'm saying. Let's see. It said, Girl Meets World was such a disappointment. I saw one episode. I watched it for Mr. Feeney, and that was it. I heard the show was, like, fine. It was probably better than anything else they had going on at that point, but that's not saying much because the shows they had at that point were fucking terrible.
I did watch a few episodes, and it's cringy. I mean, Sabrina Carpenter was good on that show. And then there were a couple episodes where they there was one episode.
Before you say what it is, I want to take a guess because I saw a thread on Twitter yesterday.
I think you know what I want to say.
The cringiest moments in Disney Channel history.
Yeah.
The number one was Camp Rock.
That's my favorite thing ever.
Camp Rock.
No, they're like.
Yeah.
Camp Rock or something stupid like that.
So then one of the moments on the thread was, and I've never seen the show. I've never seen this before. The boy, don't know who he is, don't care. I have autism.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, you don't.
She goes, you don't. Let's go tell them you don't. It was
It's
like
so
the
bad.
weirdest thing ever. Like it's like he's giving a diagnosis that he's like gonna die in a week.
Is that the same girl that's on stage doing? I'm not gonna do it here on the stream. I'm gonna get kicked off YouTube. But doing
Yes,
the,
it's the same
Juno
girl.
position. Like, what the fuck is that shit, dude? You're like fucking 5 years old.
Yeah, it's very weird. I like her though. I
like her music, but it's
I like
fucking
her music.
Weird. I'm gonna be the old man yelling at the
odd.
clouds. It's weird.
No, I think it's weird too. There's other people that think it's weird. Like,
Are we the only ones here in the chat?
Yeah, I don't think
Sabrina Carpenter, the whole like, oh, I'm gonna bend over. Like, stop. I feel weird. You look like you're 5 years old.
Yeah.
She's
No,
like
other people have
20-something.
said that. Other people have said that.
Yeah, Richie said Boy Meets World originally aired on ABC, so it's owned by Disney, so I would say it counts. I agree. Fernando said, who do you think won the promo battle last night between Cena and Cody? Cody, but Cena was better this week than he was in recent. I thought it was a very good segment. Easily the best one they've had to date, but that was a low bar anyway, so yeah, I thought it was good. So there was a line last night that we heard, and honestly it went over my head. And Cena said something to the effect of, I may work for a billionaire, talking about Vince or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I make money for billionaires. You, talking about Cody, you just steal money from billionaires' kids. And I heard steal money from kids, like, oh yeah, he's like a fan favorite. Like, I thought that was a weird line.
Oh. He's talking
What
about
he meant was
Tony
that he was
Khan.
taking money from Tony Khan, the son of a billionaire.
Yeah.
Which is actually, honestly, a pretty great line. That went over my head when we watched it yesterday. Ahmed said, in my opinion, ATLA was the best written... Oh, Adventures and... Isn't that what it is? ATLA?
Wait, where?
Was the best written animated show. I recommend watching the show. Adventures and... No, I don't know what that is. What is that show? What was the adopted show? What was that? Imaginary? The Foster show?
Foster Home for Imaginary Friends.
Okay, that's not it. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I can only think of Adventure Time, but I don't know what the other two letters would be.
Yeah. Fernando said, what do you think the musical Chairs casting, or what did you think of it? I thought it was great. Honestly, I when I first started watching it, and I think I saw before we went live that IGN, I don't know if it was just IGN or other outlets, they're like, oh, there's more, and I saw the Chairs, I'm like, oh, fuck, are they doing this today? And what?
He said Avatar The Last Airbender. I agree. That is a fantastic show.
Oh, okay.
Revolutionary for cartoons. That's very... No, seriously, very good show. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't even know. Oh, so IGN was doing a stream, and they were like, oh, there's more. I'm like, oh, fuck, are we going to not go live right now? Because, like, they're doing more cast announcements. And it was like Hugh Jackman, like, oh, fuck, oh my God, they're doing more announcements. But then it said, like, heel John Cena. Like, what the fuck? And it was, like, random names and shit, like Nosferatu and whatever. And it was funny. I'm like, damn, they got me. I look at the date, and I know the date, and they still get me every
Marvel
time.
did that today?
No, IGN did. Like,
I
thought Marvel may have been, I thought it was their stream, but IGN was sharing it. I think it was IGN's stream.
That's funny.
Yeah. I thought it was cool, though. It was like a Royal Rumble of Marvel cast announcements. Like, every 10 minutes, you got a new name. It was cool.
It was fun.
I don't know about how I felt about watching Chairs for like 5 hours, but the way they did it, I thought was exciting. Maybe like graphics would have been better. Like, I saw some of the names, I'm like, who is that person? I had to Google them. But overall, I thought it was cool. Fernando said, I love that idea. Alexis, I don't know what he was referring to.
He's talking about when I said to do challenges on your thing. So thank you, Fernando. You have great opinions. Who can sing the most entrance themes? That's a good, or like guess the theme or something. We should come up with games. I think that's a really good idea. Or do like so fun fact, during the end of 2020, I did a graphic design internship, and my role was to create like creative slideshows for this like online, it's hard to explain, but it's just like a bunch of kids baking on Zoom together to kind of like bond over the fact that they couldn't like hang out in real life. So I came up with a lot of games and stuff like that. So I wonder if I could kind of tap into that and we could do something like that.
All right, maybe. Maria also said doing a challenge is brilliant. She agrees.
Alexis is right. 3 words I like to hear.
Johnny said, what is your favorite Babyface versus Babyface match? Honestly, maybe Rock and Cena won. I thought the build overall was great. The rematch was terrible, but I love that first match. I'm trying to think of another one. I mean, there's definitely a lot of them. Hogan and Warrior from Mania 6.
Did any of the Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles, was that, or was one of them heel?
The one that we were at in 2019 was face versus face in Hartford and Money in the Bank.
I mean, I can't say it's my favorite because I don't really, I don't remember any of that shit, and I don't, I enjoyed it, but I don't know if that was my favorite. Yeah,
I'd have to think. I mean, they were definitely both baby faces at the time. Tom said, sounds good, great show. Thank you, Tom. Richie's, I gotta go back here for a second. I will die on that leg. Richie quoting me.
Shut up, Richie. You know what I said last, whatever the last time I was on here? I called the WrestleMania theme, I called it Fiend. Like Bray Wyatt, Fiend. I didn't know it was Fiend, so. I mean, that's not that dumb, honestly. I know, but I feel silly watching it back. Maria said, you asked for a stupid question. That's why I asked if the sky was blue. Oh, that's funny. I was laughing at that. Fernando said, the winner of the challenge gets to go on a date with either Veer or Love Ziggler. That's a good stakes. I want to find out what Love Ziggler looks like after messaging about it. How can he not be anything but attractive? I mean, come on. Love Ziggler? You know the legend of Love Ziggler. He's got to be hot.
Tony Khan wants to fight John Cena now. Is that the Mania match? Johnny said Shawn Michaels could have had a classic match with Giant Gonzalez. I agree. It's honestly one of the greatest matches that never happened. He could have had a better match with Love Ziggler, but it just never happened. Daniel said, I just can't believe that they didn't run back Jay versus Jimmy after their Mount Rushmore level match at Mania 40.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that should have been the Mania match this year for the world title. Jay challenging for the title. Jimmy could have been the world heavyweight champion. For Alexis, what is your favorite Zelina Gomez album?
You said Zelina.
Whatever.
Whatever one A Year Without Rain is on, that's like one of my favorite songs growing up. I loved that song.
Did you see Richie's chat?
I'm gonna spit my water on my laptop.
Wow, she's really good.
She's really good. But she went like this, the keyboard girl, she went dun dun dun.
Yeah, the
dun,
one.
dun, dun. And then she switches arms and everyone's like, she's really good.
The girl from Cheaper by the Dozen. She's in a bunch of those Disney movies. I think she also voices she voices Candace from Phineas and Ferb.
No, that's
Oh no, the other girl.
yeah, you're thinking of Sharpay.
No, I know.
Ashley Tisdale.
Yeah, no, but you know who I'm talking about? The other character?
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
The black-haired girl.
Yeah.
Anyway. Maybe
She's really good.
I think that might be honestly the biggest Disney Channel original movie that aged worse than any of the other ones. Like, Halloween Town is like, it's fun. Is it a good movie? Like, good movie? No, it's not. But, like, is it a good throwback film, like, for what it is? Yeah. But, like, in terms of a movie that's, like, fucking, like, cringy in retrospect, it's got to be Camp Rock.
It's so embarrassingly
it has to be.
bad.
Because I remember when I watched it 20 years ago, I'm like, oh, wow, this is fun, or whatever. I mean, it's a fucking 7th grader or whatever, but it's I see the clips now, and it's like, wow, how the fuck did they make that? I think that was the decline of the Disney Channel original movies. Harwood and Copeland, a Double or Nothing, I could see that. Richie said, not gonna lie, I only know Sabrina Carpenter from her music, but I get where y'all are coming from. I only know her now from her music. I didn't watch Girl Meets World, so I didn't know she was on Disney.
Yeah, she was a Disney kid. So was Olivia Rodrigo. She was on, like 2 different shows. Zendaya, I loved in Shake It Up. There's a few.
Yeah. You mentioned the Avatar show. Richie also said something that stuck out to me that Cena said to Cody was how he's afraid to show who he truly is. To me, that might allude to a potential heel turn in the future. Maybe that's just me. Yeah, no, I thought the exact same thing. Not now, not even later this year, down the road. You got to plant the seeds. They've already planted a few different seeds for heel Cody already in the last year. They've done a very good job of that as of late. Yeah, I did see that, Richie. He mentioned they announced today the next Spider-Verse movie coming in 2027. But, I mean, that's far. It's another 2 years.
Yeah. I don't know what made them think it was going to come out this year.
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't it going to come out, like...
It was rumored to, yeah.
Last month or something?
Yeah, I think this month.
It was supposed to be March.
I think it was supposed to be March last year.
Oh, dude.
So they didn't even start working on it. I don't know.
I don't know what day it is ever.
No, it's not a you thing. I'm saying it's like, that's what they said. I'm like, that was never going to fucking happen.
No chance.
But 2027 is a ways off. But it is coming out June 4th, 2027. So right after my birthday.
Didn't it come out like your birthday weekend?
It came out on my birthday in 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Now we know what we're doing that day.
So they also announced too, actually, today. Not only is that coming out, I think it was late last night, but I didn't see it until today. The next Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man Brand New Day. Spider-Man 4 Brand New Day, July 31st, 2026.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'll go in the theater to watch it, but like, why do we need another Spider-Man movie? Like,
you say that, but when they announce that Kingpin is the top heel in that movie, you'll be seated, right? Or no?
He won't be.
What if he is? Yeah, then what would say exactly? We'll change our tune pretty fucking quickly. IG and shitpost for engagement farming, bunch of heels. Cena Michaels Raw in London. Yeah, that's a great match. Hold on. Fernando said, do you think we are getting Avengers versus X-Men and Avengers Doomsday? You know what? I think we are. I think
that's a pretty good
orchestrated
question.
by Doctor Doom. And then he kills all the X-Men and whoever's left of the Avengers. I could see that.
I think whatever happens, I honestly think they're gonna... Maybe they could do this at the end. They just kill all the original X-Men. Yeah. I could fucking see that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Melina Alicia Fox, Richie said.
Classic.
A classic, but again, it did not take place in Mania. That was the best match to have never taken place in Mania, Richie. Daniel said, surprised the billionaire's son line went over so many heads. You're not the only one I've seen say that. Yeah, it went over my head. I don't know. I saw the line on Twitter earlier in the day by accident when I was on Twitter. I'm like, oh, fuck, I forgot Raw's on right now. Then I quickly, got out of it. But I didn't know he was talking about Tony Khan. I feel like that's more my fault than it is them. But it was well worded where if you know what he's talking about, then it's a great line. It's a good line anyway. Richie said, love Ziggler. I feel looks like handsome Squidward. I agree.
Sorry.
Allison Stoner might go. Allison Stoner.
Yes. She was also on
Isabella.
Mike's Incredibly Short Show or something like that.
Mike's Incredibly Short Show?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, I remember. We can hang out at my place where we can watch cringe Disney films. Richie.
We need to hang out with Richie. What are we doing?
We got to watch Disney cringe films and go to that diner, the Elm Street Diner. Zendaya, my queen. Yeah, yes. She was another one. I didn't really know she was on Disney until I saw her in, Greatest Showman or something. She's great. Honestly, I didn't watch Disney at that point.
To anybody that says she's a bad actress, refer to me her monologue in Euphoria and then come back to me and try to tell me that she's a bad actress. She is so good.
Not saying that it's a bad movie, but that Challengers movie was not good.
I hated that movie.
Hot take. We both thought it was a hot take. This is a hot take from us. We did not like Challengers.
No, I did not like that movie.
Did not enjoy it. Did not like it.
Mike's Super Short Show. That's what it was called.
What did you say?
Incredibly Short.
Oh, that doesn't make... Yeah, Mike's Super Short Show?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Nah, I forgot about that, too. I'll leave the chat open, because I don't want to go too far... when I go back to the questions, I'll leave the chat open. Alexis, do you think Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber were a good couple?
Yes and no. At the time I
Gossip
did.
time.
And then I love Fernando. I need to hang out with Fernando. He gives me all the hot goss.
And Ahmed too.
And Ahmed.
I didn't know we had such Disney Channel fucking lore fans in the chat.
Okay, but Selena Gomez was way too good to Justin, and Justin is such a shithead now. Him and Jake, what's his face? I almost said Jake Gyllenhaal. Him and Jake Paul, I feel like are on the same level. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so no. Before I did, but looking back on it now, she's really happy with Benny Blanco, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but to them I say, shut the fuck up, she's happy, let her be happy,
I heard he just went through a breakup.
Who? Justin?
Yeah, or he's having married. Issues. Heard he's having issues.
He's been having issues with Haley, whatever.
I heard that when one's not happy, the other one's happy. They just can't be on the same page.
Were you kidding?
Unless they're together. No, I saw that. I heard that on the radio.
They had a kid.
Justin Bieber?
Yeah.
Who is this woman?
Haley, not Steinfeld. I don't know her maiden name. Somebody will comment it because her uncle is Alec Baldwin. Is Haley Baldwin? No.
Yeah, maybe he was. I don't know.
I think it's Haley Baldwin. Maybe I just answer my own question.
Also, a friend of mine thinks Punk's favor might be a seat at the corporate table with The Rock. Could you see Punk turning heel at all or being a member in Rock's new stable thing?
No.
I mean, Rock's got to fucking show up to further that storyline, first of all.
Yeah.
Could I see that? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? No.
I could absolutely not see that.
I think the favor is probably just going to be, because he'll probably just announce the favor on SmackDown this week. He'll probably just say it's for a future title shot or something.
Yeah, that's the antithesis of Punk's entire character. He's never done anything like that, right? He's a punk.
That could be
his
the
whole
point.
Thing.
That could be the point that's why he's a heel, because he's doing something that's against... I'm playing devil's advocate here. It's an interesting idea.
I mean, at this point, anything could happen, but...
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen. The only
I say no because I want Punk and Cena with Cena as the heel, and Punk you can't do that if they're both on the same side.
Yeah. The only Punk heel turn I support is this Fire Punk.
That's not happening.
Yeah, it will.
Fernando says, do you think Selena Gomez is a good actress?
I do. She's good. And to anyone that says she's not, they're wrong. Except for you, Fernando, because I like your opinions. But I think she's good. She has a great voice. She's a natural. I'm sorry, but Miley Cyrus is not a good actress. Just watching her, it's hello, I am Hannah Montana. She's clearly reading from a script.
What has she done? Oh no, she just does music, right?
Well, she did the Black Mirror episode, and then she did Hannah Montana stuff, and she probably did some other, small stuff that we don't know about, but... Yeah. Selena Gomez is such a natural on the camera. Like, she really is.
Richie also said, I can't see Punk turning heel in his current run. I don't think people would want to boo him as much if they didn't for Edge, nor does him aligning with The Rock make much sense.
I agree. Yeah.
I agree. Do I think he can get more people to boo him than Edge? Yes. I think Punk is great at getting people to hate him. Edge, I liked Edge as a heel during that 2022 run. We went to a Raw with Richie when he was a heel with the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Then he turned back babyface like a fucking month later. But the problem with that Edge was that he wasn't really going for heat. Like, it was a cool group. And I guess he was using... That's actually not true. He was out there insulting the audience. I remember that. But, like, Punk, he can just be a fucking asshole. Like, it's just different. It's just a different type of heat and a different type of heel. I think Punk can make being a heel work. Being aligned with The Rock doesn't necessarily need to happen. Average Grunt is here. 2025 Men's Royal Rumble game winner. Grunt, what's going on, dude?
Bow down.
He sent in a question. I'll get to his question later on. But he did say, hello, Graham and Alexis. I'm not going to do an English accent. Good news. My phone is at 58%, and I got my PC speakers coming today. Average Grunt, that's a good day. That's a good day. So you can watch and listen, and you don't have to dip out early unless we kill your phone battery if we're here for the next fucking 5 hours. He also said, hell yeah, Spider-Man 4. Spider-Man and Batman are the two top heroes I will never tire of. Very nice. So I assume you're looking forward to Batman 2 in fucking 2035 at some point?
Seriously, when are they doing that one, too?
2027, I think. Tentatively, that might change. I don't think it's getting canceled, but that's a long time, because the first one came out in 2022. It's a long time in between movies. But we love the Penguin, though. The Penguin was great.
Oh, that was excellent.
Richie said, I could see Heyman's favor to Punk being for a title match. That's what I thought. Or maybe he wants revenge on Dwayne for ending his 434-day title reign. Hey, we got to get Punk shit-talking more of Rock and Cena. That promo that he cut on the two of them on Raw after Elimination Chamber was great. We need more of that. And he also said, Melina versus Alicia Fox for best babyface versus babyface match. Oh, I forgot about that one, of course. We mentioned it earlier, but I agree. Great answer. Fernando said Veer should be the main villain in the next... I mean, how can he be a villain? He's a babyface.
He's so lovable. He's a monk.
He's a fucking monk.
I can't.
Are we fucking kidding me? Oh, wait, hold on.
Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. What? First of all, who do you think you are, motherfucker? Not even saying hello. You know who I'm talking. You know who you are.
Tyreek.
Tyreek, why did you say IDK? What do you not know?
What do you not know? You don't know who Love Ziggler is?
What Tyreek?
Tyreek.
We're not moving on until we get a response from this bitch.
Tyreek. No, we're moving on. I can't do that. Hopefully he's still here and eating.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Tyreek, who's Love Ziggler? Who's Love Ziggler, Tyreek? Who is that? And what are Love Ziggler nicknames?
Richie's like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Everyone harass Tyreek in the comments.
Oh my god, if he's saying I don't know to the best babyface thing or the worst babyface, the answer is the answer is Love Ziggler now. It has to be.
It is.
Tyreek, come on. What the fuck?
I can't look at his comment. I'm gonna laugh. I need to look
Richie
away.
also said I will take zero Zendaya slander. Cast Veer as Kang. Again, he'd be a babyface. You can't make him a heel. Fernando agrees. He said Challengers was trash.
Thank you, Fernando.
I'm glad we're not the only ones.
Yeah, it was
Logan
not
is no better. You were talking about Jake
yeah,
Paul, weren't
yeah.
you? Yeah.
No, I agree. They're both shitheads. But Jake, to me, is even worse, just because...
Tyreek aligned to the final boss, Richie says.
He's going into business for himself. It's not about you, Tyreek. It's about Love Ziggler. What the fuck?
Tyreek,
speak! Now you have to
Tyreek. Speak Tyreek.
open.
Speak Tyreek. Yeah, no, I will. Richie said, didn't Haley stalk the hell out of Justin or something weird like that? Isn't that the latest hot gossip?
She did. No, that's been a thing for years. She was like a super fan, and there's a song that Selena Gomez came out in her new album kind of addressing this, how Haley like copied Selena and like would always comment on all of her Instagram posts wanting to be her or like being jealous of her, or she would always send like love messages to Justin. So yeah, she like kind of stalked him, allegedly.
Daniel said, yeah, Biebs posted a video. He looked rough.
He's ugly, I'm sorry.
He looked like, I haven't really seen a whole lot of videos or pictures of him recently, but he looks like someone that kind of like peaked, quote unquote, when he was a kid. Like
easily.
But that's what people know him as. So I don't know if it's like he's not doing well or he doesn't take care of himself or like I said, like people, I don't know. It might be a combination of a lot of different things.
He gives off the like class clown vibes in high school, like
then or now?
Now.
Okay.
He always has to me. I mean, but you know, good luck to him. I don't know.
Grunt said, "I'm with Solomonster and thinking the favor will be for Paul Heyman to be in his corner at Mania." Yeah, I think so. That could be it. I think it's still for a title shot, but
yeah, but how far would that get him? You would just have Paul Heyman with him. It's
I know,
not
like
he
how
would
much
cheat
of it.
for him.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't really. I don't know. Do we find out the favor then? I think we find out ahead of time. I would save it for after Mania, honestly, personally. Make it more of a surprise. Oh God, Grunt asking, doesn't Justin have cancer or something?
I hope not. I'm looking that up.
Hopefully not. Ahmed corrected me. He said the movie comes out July 31st, 2026, not 2027. So next July.
Which one? The Batman?
Spider-Man 4.
Oh.
So it comes out right after Doomsday. It's the first movie after Doomsday.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. 2 or 3 months after Doomsday. So, Doomsday, brand new day. Interesting. Interesting wording.
No, he does not. He has Lyme disease, though.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what you're
It's very random, but yeah.
Grunt also said, I got hope for Batman 2 and Batman Brave and the Bold. Yeah, I've heard about that one. Batman 2, I think, should be good. The first one was great. Johnny asked, what do you think of the cast of Avengers Doomsday? I think it was great. I think they had a lot of the expected names, the Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four, obviously. But, like, the X-Men being announced for it was cool. Fucking Beast from the X-Men was cool. Channing Tatum for fucking Gambit was awesome.
That's awesome. And Tom Hiddleston as Loki.
Yeah, Loki being in it is cool. Yeah, that kind of got overshadowed by the X-Men stuff. But, no, that was great. I thought it was really cool. There's still a lot of names that are missing from it, but there's been, reports, and even Marvel has said, oh, there's more. Will they reveal it in the movie? Will it be another one of those type of announcements before Doomsday comes out in the next year? We just don't know. As of right now, we do not know. But they have my interest. They went from being like, oh, who could possibly care about this movie, to like, I'm fucking in, they sold me. So I'm a mark. I'm there day one. Richie said, I think the favor is the explanation of Love Ziggler.
I agree.
But he ate too many limes like Sheamus. Bro ate too many limes. Poor Justin. Too many limes like Sheamus' old theme song. Do you get it? That was like
no.
It was an inside joke with his classic theme song.
I'm a CFO fan of his. You know what I mean.
Ahmed said, Tyreek, forget what anyone says. Forget what... Ahmed said...
Ahmed, you're crazy.
Listen, I'm a fan of Tyreek too, but he's got to explain himself.
I'm going to put him in timeout again if he has the audacity to fucking comment.
And you're going to join him, Ahmed. You're on the wrong side. You're on the wrong side of history here.
Boo. Boo.
Hopefully we get the X-Men from the First Class saga. We're not. I think they just want you to forget about that shit. I've said that before. They haven't brought back any of those actors from any of those movies, so why would they do it now? You know what I mean? Like, they might. I'm not saying they won't. But I've said before, I don't think they will. But if they do, Johnny, as I said with Alexis when Cena went heel and I was wrong about that, come on here and make fun of me. You're not impossibly wrong, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
You're not possibly wrong, but you're wrong is what he's saying.
If you guys are here and haven't already liked the video, please do so. We would appreciate it. We're going to go through more of the questions here that were sent in beforehand. I will leave the chat open in case you guys have anything to say, or Tyreek pops up with another comment about something and then completely no-selling us and then moving on as he always does.
Because I know he heard me.
Jordan B. asked, I remember an old interview where Batista did... well, actually, before I even read that question, you had a couple more chats here. Fernando said, Alexis, who is the better musical artist, Gomez or Miley Cyrus?
Songwriting, maybe Selena, but vocal, definitely Miley Cyrus. She's so good. Beautiful voice.
Lyme disease is rough, Grunt says, since we still don't have a cure. Beware of the ticks, folks. There you go. Good PSA there from Grunt. And also, I thought they brought back Quicksilver for the WandaVision show. Oh, yeah, you're right. They did.
Yeah,
but he wasn't Quicksilver.
It was more of like
an Ralph Boner.
Yeah,
it was
an Easter egg.
Yeah. It was a cool little like reference thing, but it wasn't even like they brought him back as Quicksilver. He pretended to be Wanda's brother or whatever it was, and he was an actor. That whole thing was fucking stupid, but
yeah, that was. It was disappointing.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's a great show, though. So anyway, Jordan had asked, I remember an old interview where Batista said, and he called himself one of the worst baby faces in history. I remember, I think that was with Chris Van Vliet. He also said, I disagree. He played the role well. My question is, who do you think is the worst babyface in wrestling? I'm going with Alberto Del Rio. That's a great question. Obviously, the question that we led the video with, and a lot of you guys have already sent in your answers. I put Roman and Del Rio in the thumbnail. Honestly, I'm going with I'm going with not Del Rio, but Roman, and here's why. Del Rio is the babyface. I remember when he turned babyface. When he went babyface, he had kind of already done everything that he could do as a heel. So they tried doing it, and the turn kind of came out of nowhere. Like, they turned him babyface, and then he ran over Santa Claus, don't ask. And then they turned him babyface again after that. So it was kind of a weird turn. But he was never, like, the face of the company. And you know what, too? He was only a babyface for, like, 6 months. He was only a babyface for a very short amount of time. Ahmed said Lex Luger. I disagree. You can put him in that conversation. He was a great heel because he was the narcissist. I agree. But when he was doing the Lex Express, he was really over. Like Del Rio, I'm not going to say he was really over, but he was over enough. Like when he was feuding with Swagger, that feud sucked. But Del Rio was getting good reactions. So, I mean, if you want to say Del Rio, I don't agree as the number one pick, but you can put him on that list. Diesel, not as Kevin Nash, but as Diesel, when he was WWE champion for a year as a babyface, that was not interesting. The reign was not interesting. He had some good matches, but it killed business for the company. Like, I'm also going off of metrics-wise and what it did or did not do for the company. And Diesel, like, killed the company. Not just him, but there was a lot of factors. He was on top during a time where the company was not doing well. So Diesel would be up there. Ronda Rousey, I've seen people say, I agree with that. Ronda, when she first came in, was a good babyface.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was thinking about that, but I don't agree with that.
The fans quickly soured on her, and her mic skills were not strong enough to justify her in that spot. So she's not number one, but she is worth mentioning. Because also when she came back as a babyface in 2022, that also sucked.
Oh, yeah, she did come back as a
So she's not my number one. People also said Charlotte in the chat earlier.
Charlotte would probably be one of my picks.
She's not a great babyface.
No, she's not. She's like a natural.
But she can be a good babyface sometimes.
Asshole.
She's had periods where she's been a good babyface. So she's not my number one. She's on the list though.
When was she a good babyface?
Let's see. Not anytime recently. It was more so when she first got called up, and then she's always been a way better heel. But 2018, 2019, more so 2018, 2019, people kind of got sick of her. 2018 though, for a little bit. 2017.
For how long though?
Not long.
There you go.
But here's the other thing too. I'm going with Roman Reigns. Because Roman Reigns, they fucking refused to turn him for so fucking long. And it's not even like with Rousey or with Charlotte or with anyone that I mentioned, they were over for a little bit and then people turned on them. Roman was never fully over as a babyface in that company. Not from the moment they broke him off on his own, dude, in 2015. People fucking hated Roman Reigns. And they shoved him down our throats anyway for the next 5 years, dude. He was on top, did not help business at all. WWE's overall creative product was not good from 2015 through 2020. And he himself as a character was not good at all. To the point now where Roman does not even acknowledge that part of his career. And that was like the first 10 years of his career. Like, that character is dead to him. Like, the Shield, yeah. Roman, great. Everything from post-Shield up until Tribal Chief fucking sucked. As a character, it sucked. He had some good promos here and there, but overall it was bad. I gotta go Roman Reigns, I'm sorry.
I think Roman Reigns is a very safe answer and a good answer. I would probably just say Charlotte, because I just hate her trying to convince us that she's, like, a good guy. Like, you're not. You're just not.
Well, yeah, in 2025, I agree. But I'm just saying, in her career, she has been a good babyface at certain times in NXT. Yeah, she is a better heel. I'm just saying I can pinpoint different periods. Not like for a year or two. You asked me for how long. But I'm saying for Roman, there is not a single period from 2015 through 2020 where I thought, man, what a great babyface Roman Reigns was.
Yeah, if you want to say worst, I mean, that's probably the perfect answer.
I mean, I said wrestling history. I'm not talking NWA or WCW. It's kind of hard for me to say that. Like, Hogan also became a bad babyface after a while. They had to turn him heel.
Right.
But, like, I can't really speak to other companies as well as I know WWE. For me, it's Roman Reigns. Daniel said Rocky Maivia. I agree with that pick. He sucked as a babyface. The Rock did when he first came out of the scene, but they quickly turned him heel, so they kind of avoided disaster there.
You know who else sucked as a babyface was, this is so relevant because everyone's naming, like, big names. Raquel Gonzalez. She sucks as a good guy. She's boring.
Yeah, I think she sucked as a babyface on the main roster. I think when they first turned her into a babyface in NXT and she was the women's champion, I think she was good in that role. So I agree and I disagree. I'm thinking of people like Roman I can't think of any redeeming quality as a babyface that he had in that period where I'm like, man, he was really over at that point. He really fucking wasn't.
I know there's...
Raquel was in NXT.
There's people out there that I'm thinking of because I'm trying to think, okay, who was like a really good heel? And there's a lot of people that I either never saw as a good guy or I just can't picture them being a good guy, so I just can't think of anyone.
Well, here's another one, though. Here's one I think people will say this is the number one that may have been said in the chat. I don't think so, but I've always heard of this one. And I honestly will die on this fucking hill. I disagree. And he is a better heel than a babyface. I won't disagree with that. But I'm saying he can be a good babyface. The Miz. The Miz. And here's why.
Oh, yeah,
the
no,
Miz
I don't
is
agree
a
with
great
that.
heel.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with the notion that he's the worst babyface ever. When he was a babyface in 2013, 2019, and I think recently, he was, honestly, there were parts of those periods where he was over as a babyface. Early on in 2013, in 2019, before the Shane feud, during the Shane feud, he was really fucking over. We went to a show, Mohegan Sun, where I remember him getting like one of the loudest reactions on the show.
Don't even get me started on Shane. I hate that man.
And then recently, when he feuded with Gunther, the show where Punk returned at Survivor Series last year, Miz faced Gunther on that show. Miz was fucking over, dude, as a babyface. And they were having some really good matches. What I think people remember, though, is that he was cringy or the material sucked. The creative sucked. And again, he's better as a heel. I agree with that. But I'm saying he could have worked as a babyface if the booking and the writing and the handling of that character was better. That is the hill I will forever fucking die on. Because when they turned him a couple of years ago, recently, he was getting great reactions. 2019, during the Shane feud, he was getting great reactions. And then Shane beat him. And then Shane beat him again. And then he beat him again. And then it was like, all right, no one cares about this guy. 2013, they didn't know what to do with him. So people fucking stopped giving a shit about him. You know, it is him, but it's mostly the booking. So I don't agree with that one.
Has Karrion Kross ever been a babyface?
No.
Okay.
He has yet to turn.
I don't think that would be good, though. I mean, that's not in the conversation, handled, but yeah. I don't know.
Baron Corbin, I think, was getting over well as a babyface in NXT and on the main roster before they fucking fired him.
Yeah, that was a name that I thought about, but I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, you could say, oh, because he didn't do anything. Yeah, but I'm also talking about, like, how well he works in that role. You know what I mean?
Sasha Banks?
Sasha Banks is a good one because I think she's not Charlotte, but she's entered Charlotte territory.
She thinks she is.
She came into AEW. She got a great... We were there when she debuted in Boston last year. Mm-hmm. But how quickly was it before they turned her heel? Maybe a month or two? Because she just isn't... She's not a natural babyface. She's so fucking annoying as a character.
What about Nia Jax?
That's a good one. She was a babyface briefly when she feuded with Alexa Bliss going into Mania 34. And they were friends as heels. And then Alexa kind of like talked shit about her, called her fat. Like they did that whole storyline type thing. And Nia was over there for a little bit. So I can't even say that one. They quickly turned her back because it wasn't really working towards the end. But she was getting good reactions. And if you go into Mania, watch that Mania, she was kind of over at that point a little bit. But that is a good one, though. That is a good answer.
What about Nikki Cross, too?
Yeah. I mean, that's not like, bad babyface. That's just like, you know.
Maybe it was just bad creative.
In 2019 you're talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
I mean, no, I didn't know. Now I know what you're talking about. She was a babyface when she first got called up, and she was fine. With Alexa Bliss, the whole coffee duo or whatever.
Yeah.
Nikki Ash was fucking terrible. Holy shit.
Terrible.
That was her fault. I'm sorry. That was WWE's fault, but she came up with the character, so I blame her for that, too.
Yeah, it was bad.
That was also her fault. Anyway, back to the chat here for a second. Richie said, do we think Del Rio is getting good reactions as a face, partly due to Ricardo Rodriguez by his side? I can't say it was much of Del Rio's personality. His in-ring work was always fine. Yeah, Ricardo had a lot to do with it. Ricardo was popular doing the whole ring announcing thing. And as soon as they turned Del Rio heel again, he attacked Ricardo. So, like, that is part of, like, that was part of what got him over as a babyface. I agree with that. It said they were trying to make him the next Hogan, but it just didn't work. It felt forced. I don't know if you're talking about Del Rio or Roman, but either one. I mean, for Hogan, or for Roman, yeah. Del Rio, were they trying to make him the next Hogan? I think you're talking about Roman. Maria said, Alexis, who is in your top 5 best women's wrestlers of all time? I mean, actually, think about that. I'm going to read through the rest of these. About what we were just talking about before we get into that. What is your favorite Del Rio match? He's a terrible person, but as far as matches go, he did have some good matches. Probably him, Punk, and Miz, TLC 2011, or him and Punk at Survivor Series 2011. Him and Big Show also had a really good last man standing match of Rumble 2013. Him and Sheamus had solid matches. Him and Swagger I didn't give a fuck about. Him and Ziggler had good matches. Probably him, Miz, and Punk at TLC 2011. Anytime Charlotte was against Sasha, that was a good baby face. You would agree with that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Suffering Succotash, son, and the Magic Beans. Yeah, that shit killed Roman Reigns and any mystique he had and any cool factor he had. Goated promo, Richie said.
I have it.
What? You have it? For your baby for your top 5 women's wrestlers?
Yes.
All right, I'll go through these and I'll throw it to you in a second.
Okay, wait. Let me write them down. I'm going to forget them.
Yeah, write it down. The irony of Roman not acknowledging something. Yeah, exactly. Maria said MJF was the worst babyface. He's a natural heel like Charlotte. I also, I agree and I disagree. He's a natural heel, but I also think that he made the most of the babyface thing. He was over. I went to a lot of shows when he was a face as champion, and he was over. So some of the material he was doing, like with Adam Cole, was kind of like, that's not good. But he is a way better heel, but he was a good babyface there for a little while because people organically liked him, and that got him over in that role. Richie said, but what about Raquel flexing her back?
She's friends with Rainy Rodriguez. Speaking of Disney shows, Rainy Rodriguez from Austin and Ally. And I saw Rainy Rodriguez twice backstage when we were at the
Rumble in 2023.
Yeah,
probably
and then
Rumble and Mania.
And I said to myself, if I see her a third time, I'm getting a picture with her. And I haven't seen her since. Ridiculous.
She was over like Rover, brother. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, Grun. Grun said, wasn't Logan a babyface for his matches with The Miz and Roman in 2022?
See, I knew there was something I wasn't thinking of.
I forgot about Logan. Definitely Logan. Logan.
Great one.
Great matches in 2022. Not a great babyface. So, yeah, that is a good pick. He's not number 1, but he's on that list. I would agree with that.
Absolutely.
But, guys, Raquel's back muscles, Daniel said. Ahmed does not agree. Ahmed said, what? Graham, he was boring as a face after the Shane feud. Yeah, after the feud. That's the thing. During the Shane feud, he was great. Going into Mania, dude, go back and watch any SmackDown from 2019 before Mania. I will die on this fucking hill, guys. I'm telling you. I already, this is my hill. I'm dying right here. I'm just going to sit here in this hill. I got a sleeping bag and everything because I'm fucking dying on it because you can't convince me otherwise. He was over at that point. Watch any SmackDown from 2019 before Mania. He was over.
Did you read Maria said MJF?
No, I read that one.
I read
that one. Shane McMahon, best in the world. Don't give Alexis PTSD
I can't. I literally, that raises my blood pressure. I can't deal with it.
I need Miz versus Ziggler part 372 before they both retire. Yeah, maybe at a fucking local indie high school gym show.
No, love Ziggler, not Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, of course.
What are you, crazy?
I know, I forgot. Millennial Noob said Asuka is terrible as a face. She's better off as a tweener or a heel. Even the stuff with damage control didn't do anyone any favors. Asuka as a babyface in NXT was great. She is a good heel when she's not doing the dancing and that shit is awful.
She has she kind of has this interesting underdog thing about her depending on who she faces, so I don't know. Yeah.
Daniel even said, love Ziggler, sucked as a babyface early on, but really came into his own once he got his nickname. I love how we tied that back around.
That was funny. Daniel, you're really funny.
The nickname was really the game changer there. Richie said, Baron Corbin not being booked for Backlash France was a crime. Brother would have gotten a Stone Cold Warrior pop. I agree.
Oh my God, yeah.
Baron Corbin was getting great reactions before he got released. I agree, yeah. I said that before. France loves Corbin. The worst babyface was Kelly. Not the worst babyface, but she was just not a good women's wrestler in general. Although she did improve to her credit. Nikki Trash, Lexus Luger. Is that your nickname? Lex Luger. Who is the worst heel in wrestling history?
I was gonna ask you that. Like,
Worst
let's
heel?
swap it. Ronda Rousey was terrible.
Um,
So bad.
No, she's not the worst.
She was so cringy though.
When they turned her heel going into 35, I thought she did well. I mean, she was just not good in general.
When she came back and she was like a bad guy, it was so bad.
Who did they turn like briefly? That was like, man, that was really bad. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a harder one to answer. If anyone has any like thoughts on that, let us know. Watching Austin and Allie reminded me how great of a comedic character Callum Worthy was when he played Dez.
Yeah, he was funny. You didn't watch that show.
No. The worst heel was Eva Marie. She had major go away. She was, again, I think we're mixing that up with the worst in general than just the worst heel. Like, if they're just bad in general, then you're not the worst. Like, I'm thinking of someone that worked really well as a face, and they turned him heel, and then it was like, oh, that sucked. Yeah, Goldberg and Sting in WCW, that's a good one. Goldberg in WCW especially did not really
Shane
work
McMahon.
Shane was a great heel once upon a time. In 2019, absolutely not.
No, he scarred me for life. I hate that man.
Ahmed said, remember when Mike Rome fucked up the Shane McMahon introduction? I don't, but I wish I did.
Maybe we should look that up.
Yeah, we need to look that up. So anyway, back to Alexis's question. Top 5 women's wrestlers. In history or your favorite? What was the question?
I think it's of all time.
I'm going to go back and look. Man, this is from a while ago. Where did Maria say that? Oh, yeah, top... Okay, of all time, yeah.
Okay, so I'll start newer and then go older. Bianca. Rhea. Rhea's my number one. Well, it's but kind of. Bianca, Rhea, Ronda, like in her peak, was amazing. Did a lot for women. Beth Phoenix. I love her. And then my last... one, I'm between Chyna and Lita.
All right.
But the essential theme is women that go against the odds. Like, in the sense that, like, Rhea is very muscular, like, she's very tough, but she can also be really bubbly and girly, and, like, you could still be feminine, but be really strong and tough and stand your ground. And I think a lot of those women on that list kind of represent that.
All right. Good list. Back to the scheduled questions here. Emmanuel A. sent this in on YouTube, through YouTube this morning. Thought this was a good one. John Cena said this in his promo last night. John Cena said he buries mediocrity. For the sake of argument, who is John Cena unarguably buried and said person was mediocre? That's a great question. I was trying to think, and the 2 people I wrote down 3 people. So he did not bury these people on television, but there have been reports and theories and outright confirmed he buried Alex Riley and JTG. Now, should he have buried those 2 individuals? No. But were they mediocre? Yes. I can't imagine Alex Riley would have been a fucking 10-time world champion had Cena not buried him. So, I mean, I like both those guys. I like JTG, I like Riley, but they were never great. Like, they were never going to win a world title on their own. They had very limited shelf life. Yeah, Alex Riley is what Richie said. Grunt said the same thing. Riley's got to be number 1. I love Riley, but Riley's got to be the answer. JTG was another one. Again, he never buried him on television, but if that story that he told is true, it's not like JTG had breakout potential. Shad, to me, had more breakout potential than JTG did in 2010, although they fired Shad and not JTG later that year. The third person I wrote down, and I hate to fucking say this because I also feel like it falls on him too, Austin Theory. I think Austin Theory is very good. But here's the thing. We do blame Cena. When I say we, I'm talking about me. Maybe kind of you too.
I agree with you on this.
Cena buried him in that promo a couple of years ago in Boston. He definitely, you cannot tell me otherwise. He fucking buried him.
Mm-hmm.
He literally said in the promo, and go back and watch it, he said, even if Austin Theory beats me, even if he beats me, not if he loses to me, if he fucking beats me, it will not matter. Yep. Who the fuck says that?
And that's exactly what happened.
And that's exactly what happened.
He embarrassed him.
I mean, we could do a whole fucking video essay on Theory, okay?
Yeah.
As far as, like, where it went wrong with him and him getting buried, blah, 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 okay? But here's the thing. if Theory was that great, like he is very good. We've met him before. I think he's good in the mic. I think he's very good in the ring, and he was getting over before the Cena feud. If he was that great, don't you think by now he probably would have overcome the bad booking and become a bigger star?
I think you're right. Yeah.
You know, I think he's good. Do I think he would have been a bigger star 10 years ago? Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think WWE has so many stars bigger and higher potential than him. Even LA Knight and people like that. Damian Priest, I think, has a higher ceiling than him. They've pushed instead. LA Knight, among other people.
Logan Paul, honestly, even though I don't like him.
Logan, Jey Uso, you can shit on him, dude, but like Jey Uso has a higher ceiling than Austin Theory. He just does.
Yeah.
He's has what Austin Theory never really did in connection with the crowd. You know? So I think Cena buried Theory. He did. He fucking buried him. But Theory was never, like, he's good. He's very good. But part of it also falls on Theory for not improving or not using that as a setback to kind of improve himself or quit and be like, I got to go elsewhere and, you know, reestablish and, like, be better or whatever. Definitely those three guys. Like Bray Wyatt, I could see people saying, oh, he was mediocre. But Bray Wyatt was, I know he's your favorite wrestler. Bray Wyatt wasn't mediocre, though, because even if he was mediocre in the ring, like Bray Wyatt did not have a lot of great matches. But he was special in other ways. I don't see that currently with Austin Theory. I just don't. I think the guy is great in a lot of different ways, but I feel like this expression sums up Austin Theory in a nutshell. Jack of all trades, master of none. Like, where he's very good at a lot of different things, but he's not like a great wrestler. You know what I mean? Or a great talker.
Yeah.
Or he's great with the crowd. He's not, like, exceptional at any one of those things. So,
yeah.
Riley, JTG, and Austin Theory. Johnny, with the Big Show is the worst, but the most turns of all time. Yeah, that's definitely accurate. Were there any other people that came to mind for you, or no?
Austin Theory was the big one for me.
Yeah. They also allegedly wanted Swagger to cash in on Cena, but Cena said no, LOL. Yeah, we talked about that when we were watching Mania 26. If you want to include Swagger, that's the only instance that I can remember where Cena buried Swagger, quote unquote. I wouldn't call that a burial. He was just like, no, I'm not doing that. Because it didn't really make sense anyway. But if you want to include that, then Swagger, absolutely. Swagger was also very mediocre. I like Swagger. I think he was good. He was not bad. But he was also very average in a lot of respects. So if you want to include Swagger, if you want to include that as a burial and that counts, then Swagger too. Banger theme, say it to my face. Yeah, Alex Riley's theme is still unmatched. Noob said, don't get me started on Alex Riley, his debut match at the NWA a couple of years ago, because that was embarrassing. That was really embarrassing. I love the guy, and I enjoy his work in WWE, but that return match, his first match in like a decade or whatever, at the NWA show a year or two ago, I honestly felt concerned. I was like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, he looked completely out of it. He had that botch where he almost fucking killed himself. He has not wrestled since, I don't think. He may have. It was really bad. He was not in great shape. It was concerning. Grunt said Babyface Roman as well, specifically Babyface Roman, though. What, for a burial or a bad Babyface? If you're talking about burial, Cena didn't bury Roman. Because Roman again, I wouldn't call Roman mediocre. Like, Roman's had enough great matches and whatnot, where I don't really feel like he earned the mediocre title. He was mediocre in the babyface role because he was a babyface, but he proved as soon as he turned heel that he had a lot more of what he was capable of on the mic and whatnot if he was given the right material and whatnot. Ahmed said he was U.S. champion. Why would you embarrass your champion? Talking about the Cena Theory thing, yeah, I don't know, it wasn't good. Richie said, add Alexis, like and subscribe.
I laughed at that.
Got to remember. Daniel Malcolm said Cena undressed Theory. Yes, he did. Ahmed said, Alexis, fun fact, today is Logan Paul's birthday. I'm guessing he was always a fool. April Fool.
Oh,
get it?
That's funny.
Yeah, that is funny. Daniel said, the problem with Theory is that the Cena moment isn't the only time he looked egregiously stupid. Oh, yeah, and he said, yeah, quote unquote, your daddy's not here. Remember that? That was the prior summer. It was the Raw right after Vince got booted from the company completely. Oh. And they were at MSG in Theory as Mr. Money in the Bank a couple of weeks after winning the briefcase. That was Vince's last pay-per-view, by the way, fully in charge, was Theory winning the briefcase. How fitting, by the way. Theory won the briefcase, and Roman was on Raw opening the show. And he goes, "Your daddy's not here
Yeah, I
anymore,
remember
Theory."
that.
Yeah, that was a great moment. And Theory was made to look pretty dumb in that moment too. Although that was funny. And also cashing in on a mid-card title and losing. Can't forget about that.
Oh, yeah, that's the main issue for me was that. And
that's not his fault. That was a booking thing.
I know. Yeah. They really did him dirty.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Not the first time he embarrassed the U.S. champion, Ed Ahmed. Johnny said, better wrestler who buried people. Triple H or John Cena? Interesting question.
I feel like I have no opinion on that. I don't know.
I'm going to go Cena. I feel like Cena's had better matches in the last 15 years than Triple H did after his injury, where he quote-unquote buried people. I feel like when Triple H was burying people in like 02, 03, 04, the match with Booker T, RVD, like the matches were fucking boring. Like the matches with Orton were fucking boring. At least when Cena buried people, even the Wyatt matches weren't great. But like when he buried people, the matches were usually pretty good for the most part. So I'll go John Cena. Ahmed said Cena was right. He wasn't ready to be WWE champion. Theory, no, he wasn't. He's not ready now. I mean, the booking hasn't helped, but it's not like Theory's really proven, oh man, I'm so great. I've improved all this. Like it feels like he's stagnated, has Austin Theory. Grun said for burial. Oh yeah, the Roman burial thing. Yeah, he buried Roman on the mic, but Roman was like, he already did himself no favors as a babyface, even before Cena buried him on the mic. Johnny said Graham Matthews in a British voice. No one said it better in a British voice, Graham Matthews, than Wade fucking Barrett.
Yes.
You want to say how he did on the NXT? It was an NXT press conference on their YouTube channel 4 years ago.
He said,
almost exactly. And they were doing a thing where they named the outlets and the names, and I wasn't there, but it was during COVID, so like whatever. But they would say the name and the outlet, and then Wade Barrett said,
Graham Matthews, a Bleacher Report.
Yeah, the way you said it was fucking amazing.
I love how he said report. He said report.
Yeah, I know. Wade Barrett's amazing. I've always been a big Barrett fan. That was another one, too. Kind of thinking about that now. What about the Nexus? Cena buried the Nexus, but were they mediocre? Wade, I feel like, had more potential than like a Riley or even a Theory, honestly, because Wade was a great talker. So I wouldn't say that he was mediocre. People in the Nexus were mediocre. The overall group was not, though, because they had buzz, and then he ruined it. Roman Reigns made Theory look like a joke in that promo. Yeah, he did. Cena making the burial comment with Wade Barrett on commentary was fitting. Yeah, yeah, it was. Ahmed said I was talking about Jack Swagger in 2010. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about, I think. Swagger in 2010 was mediocre. I mean, he ended up being mediocre anyway, even as world champion later that year, but yeah, he was mediocre. Fernando said, do you think WWE saved the Gunther versus Jay story for Mania last night? I don't know what you mean by that. Do I think WWE saved the Gunther Jay? I know what you're saying. Did they save it? Yeah, they improved it a lot because they've been doing a lot of the same shit for so long now. That angle they did last night with Gunther beating the fuck out of Jimmy Uso, that was great. That was. Did they save it? I mean, that's kind of a strong word, but they did a great job though. Grunt said that time Cena buried Wade Barrett at SummerSlam, and then literally buried him under a giant pile of steel chairs at TLC 2010. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
I'll be right back, everyone. I'm gonna go heat my food up.
All right, quick break for Alexis here. Average Grunt, who's here now, he asked this question via YouTube this morning. He said, who does the slow, methodical pace benefit? Also, happy April Fools. Happy April Fools to you as well, Grunt. I feel like the matches are very hit or miss with these people, but 3 people come to mind with like methodical pace and whatnot. And their matches can either be really, really good or really, really boring. And 3 people come to mind from like recent memory. Randy Orton, Edge, Roman Reigns. I feel like their matches can be either fucking boring or great. And like when they're great, like they're really emphasizing the story and people are eating into it. I feel like my answer, I mean, I don't know if like methodical means like mechanical or like well wrestled, but it's not exciting. Maybe Bret Hart. I don't know if it's methodical. Like Bret Hart might be the number one answer if you want to include him. But for me, Roman, Edge, or Orton probably come to mind. If you want to include like technical wrestler and say that's methodical, but it's not exciting, I'll go Bret Hart. Let's see. Grunt said, or Richie said actually, fun fact, I think Kevin Kiley, aka Alex Riley, wrestled at Cap, Creative Pro Wrestling in Long Island. about a week after that NWA Nuff Said show with the infamous dive botch against EC3. Oh, interesting. So he must have had like a comeback tour where he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to wrestle a bunch of matches, and then he sucked. And then he was like, you know what, I'll probably stay retired. So he came back out of retirement way, way later than he should have. I mean, he should have wrestled in like 2016, 2017 when he was still like in the thick of it, you know? He waited way too long. COVID happened, and it was all downhill from there. Grunt said heated up, talking about the food for Alexis. Ahmed said Graham watches you guys, because Solid Monster did have the idea to tie Jey Uso in. Graham watches you guys. What are you talking about? The wording of your... Oh, WWE watches you guys. Okay, I see what you're saying. WWE watches you guys because Solid Monster did have the idea to tie Jey in and do a beatdown on Jimmy all bloodied up. And that's what they did yesterday. Yeah, he did say that. He said that on a show or a week ago in his Raw review, and he was like, they really got to heat this up by having Gunther just destroy him and then bloody up Jimmy, and that's exactly what they did. I don't know if he said to bloody up Jimmy. I didn't think they actually would do that, but they did. It was a great angle. Great angle, and I thought they did a very good job of that. So, WWE doesn't watch me necessarily, but Solid Monster maybe. You would be surprised. But, yeah, they did the right thing there. Johnny said, what is your anticipation levels for AEW Dynasty? I think it'll be a good show. Their pay-per-views are always good to great. I mean, honestly, the build may not always be great, and they've had a very quick build between Revolution and this show. Very quick turnaround time. The pay-per-view's this weekend. I'm looking forward to Moxley and Swerve, kind of. I think the Death Rider shit is terrible, but, you know. Yeah, I think the match itself will be good. The Edge and FTR versus Death Riders match should be solid. I think that'll be a fine match. Tyreek said agreed. Tyreek is still here, apparently. Tyreek, what's going on, dude? Thank you for joining us. You're still not giving us an answer to Love Ziggler, so I'm just going to stop asking for now. But great to see you in the chat. You literally came in as soon as Alexis left. She's not going to be happy when she comes back. But anyway, so anticipation levels for Sunday. I think it'll be a good show. Greatest show of all time? Probably not. But if we get Mercedes and Athena this weekend, I think that'll be a great match. And Ahmed said, John Moxley always stinks up these pay-per-views. Yeah, he does. The Death Rider shit is fucking awful. That shit is terrible, so. Hopefully it ends up being a good show in spite of that garbage. At Nick T wrote, Nick, what's going on, dude? I always appreciate the questions. I'm inside Tyreek. I'm your biggest fan. Nick said, with John Cena not having any more appearances scheduled, how will they promote Cody Rhodes versus John Cena? Will they just let Cody continue saying the same lines to build up the hype? Personally, I am tired of what has been shown so far. Daniel also said Death Riders needed to end yesterday. I agree with that. Needed to end in that shit needed to end like a year ago. So Nick sent that question in before Raw, actually. So I don't know if he still feels that way, but I thought what they did last night with Cody and Cena was great. They still need to further build it out. They need to further flesh out the feud and the storyline and whatnot. They can't do that, though, like Nick said, if Cena is not scheduled for any upcoming Raws or SmackDowns before Mania. That, to me, is just fucking lazy. That's lazy storytelling, lazy booking, whatever. Daniel said Tyreek fears Alexis. Evidently so, because he showed up as soon as she left. I feel like he did that on purpose. I'll go back to the chat in a moment, but yeah, I feel like Cody just coming out and addressing Cena in the coming weeks is not going to get me any more excited for the match. What they did last night did, but if that was the peak, and they still have 2 more Raws and SmackDowns to go that Cody's probably going to be on, that's not good. That's not good. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. Hopefully they can have Cena show up via a vignette or a video package, and I think that would be great. I'm not getting my hopes up. Hopefully they can progress the storyline that way and they do something out of the box outside of having them talk in the ring again, which they've done for the last 3 weeks. Thankfully, Cody got physical with Cena last night. So thankfully we saw that, but they need to find other ways to heat up the feud and further the feud if Cena's not going to be there. The fact he's not on any more Raws until Mania is fucking dumb. I mean, that is just ridiculous. So hopefully they can figure that shit out and they can, I was kind of getting tired of it too with the first 2 weeks, but they heated it up last night. I think because, again, Nick sent that in before what we saw last night on Raw and yesterday on Raw, whatever. But, hopefully they can find other out-of-the-box ways to further the feud than what we've gotten so far, even if Cena isn't there in person. Richie said Death Rider's name is appropriate. Every time they come on the screen, the show dies. Yeah. Every single time. It's just awful. Wheeler Yuta specifically is channel-changing material for me. It's just... And they have that guy getting involved in pay-per-view main events? Fuck off. Awful. Grunt said, any high hopes for the Mania set, or will we get another generic giant screen a la WrestleMania 35, or even the minimalist designs they've been using for shows in the last year or so? They're really high in the minimalist design, so honestly, there is a chance for a nice elaborate set. And I say that because they're going to be in Vegas. You think they might want to have, like, the poker cards in the background, or like an AEW Double or Nothing, the poker chips at ringside or something. I do have some hope for it, that they could end up having a really cool set. Am I expecting it? No. At this point, I expect nothing and want to be pleasantly surprised if they do end up doing anything cool. So we'll see. No, I'm not expecting it. I think it will be a generic giant screen. Nothing was more disappointing to me than being at 33 and getting that amazing set, arguably the greatest WrestleMania set in history, with the roller coaster on the globe, fucking incredible. And then going to 35 and being like, oh man, I don't want to look at the set reveal that they did before the show, and I want to wait until I'm there. And, yeah, Alexis is eating right now. Acknowledge me, yeah, exactly. Anyway, so nothing was more disappointing to me than showing up for 35 and then seeing that set and being like, what the fuck? Like, that was very disappointing. Because even at 34, they had a great set. They had a great set for 34, and, the one in New Orleans. But 35, it was just a generic giant screen. 33, they had a great set. Even 32. 34, 35, it was like, what the fuck? That was just lazy to me. Daniel said, headed to SmackDown on Friday. Oh, very cool. Hopefully some unadvertised folks show up like The Rock did when he bloodied Cody last year. Was that not in Chicago? Didn't Rock show up in Chicago for that Raw right before Mania? Wasn't that in Chicago? But enjoy the show, Daniel, in Chicago on Friday. It should be a fun one. Ray Phoenix wrestling for the first time in WWE on Friday. I think they're doing Fatu and Strowman Last Man Standing on Friday as well. That should be great. So enjoy the show. Hopefully, I think Punk is advertised. If he's not, he should fucking be there. They did not further the Rollins-Punk-Roman feud last night on Raw, so I'm assuming that all three of them, or at least Roman and Punk, will be on SmackDown this Friday. And they really should. Richie said, I genuinely do not understand how some people like the Mania 35 set. People like the Mania 35 set? Give me their names, because I don't know who those people would be. When you have sets like the Mania 39 set, the 39 set, 33, 34, how could you prefer 35 over any of those? Or even just say that you like it. It was fucking lazy. 37 with I think they had a giant pirate ship for that one in Tampa. That was cool. 38, I don't really remember. So it wasn't Chicago when Rock showed up last year. Yeah, so maybe he shows up on Friday this week. I don't know why he would. If they're not furthering the Cody storyline because they did it last night, I don't think they're going to further that feud on Friday, so why would The Rock show up? Unless he was interacting with Cody. But you never know. For your sake, I hope he shows up. At Iwagu91, their first question was, as we wind down here, do you see Rhino? I thought that said Riho for a second from AEW. Do you see Rhino, it's spelled two different ways, getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in the future? Good question. Probably. Because I think he was a former United States champion in WWE, if I'm not mistaken. He worked for WWE for a long time, on and off, and he was an ECW legend, the final ECW champion. They've inducted people far less deserving than him. Very reliable, very nice guy. Probably down the road, I could see Rhino going in. They still have to induct, is Sabu in the Hall of Fame? Is Sabu in the Hall of Fame yet? I'm not sure. If he's not in the Hall of Fame, then he should be. Sabu should be in the Hall of Fame, and Tommy Dreamer probably before Rhino, but I would induct people like that before getting to Rhino. But yeah, I would say Rhino can go in. He's not like a massive name, but they've inducted mid-carders from WWE before, and more so the impact that he had in ECW, but also, he was a former, I think, NWA champion, and they acknowledge TNA now, so they can acknowledge that if he were to go into the Hall of Fame, his TNA accomplishments and what he's done over there and what he's done in WWE. I feel like that would make sense. Yeah, Grunt said don't believe so. Yeah, I guess he's not in. Maybe he is, and we just don't know. But I don't think he is. They might wait until after he's dead at this point to induct Sabo, but he should be in the Hall of Fame. Grunt said 38 was the generic Giants star of a set because they were in Texas, but it was much better than 32 said, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't remember either one all that well. When I was at 38, I don't really remember. The Giant generic star makes sense, though, because they were in Texas, like you said. And Grunt also said Tajiri for the Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's another one I can see. Given his accomplishments in WWE, ECW, he's not a name I would rush in. But honestly, for the simple sake of them inducting people like fucking the Great Khali, I mean, honestly, I'm not saying, oh, you inducted Khali, so you have to induct Tajiri. I feel like it would be fine. Like, especially for the shit that he did in ECW, and then later on in WWE, and tag team stuff, and I think he was a light heavyweight cruiserweight champion, maybe not. But he definitely was a tag team champion, and he's a notable name, and he had a very successful career. So Tajiri for the Hall of Fame would be cool, along with Rhino and everyone else I mentioned. At Iwagu91, second question, your thoughts on CM Punk finally set to compete in the main event of WrestleMania? I'll probably go into more details about this on WrestleRant Radio on Thursday, because I'm mixed on it, honestly. I'm very happy for him. Do I think the tears were real on Friday? No, I don't. Punk has literally said, not even, and no Grunt, Regal is not in. Yoshitatsu for the Hall of Fame to carry on in the April Fool's Day spirit, why not? Yoshitatsu, absolutely. He won the fucking Battle Royal at WrestleMania 26. And Daniel said Tajiri should absolutely be in. But anyway, as far as Punk goes, Punk has even said in recent interviews, not even like after he left the company or anything like that, he had said, main eventing Mania at this point doesn't mean as much to me as it used to. And, you know, it's still a goal. Like, it would be cool to do. And obviously, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything to him, but to be able to do it now, and I'm not saying he shouldn't main event because it doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the whole point of him winning the Rumble or a Chamber was to main event Mania. He had both of those things taken away from him. He was eliminated from the Rumble by Logan Paul, and then eliminated from the Elimination Chamber by Seth Rollins, or by Cena, but Rollins caused it. Abu Sika is here. El Torito for the Hall of Fame, I agree, Richie. Abu Sika, what's going on, dude? Thanks for joining. Cheers to you as well. So yeah, Punk got cost the main event of Mania. And then he ends up in the main event anyway, and it's not even the favor, which I'm kind of glad it's not. But I'm thinking, like, why? Like, on paper, it should be the main event. You're not going to close out the show at this point with the build that the women's titles matches have gotten. You're not closing out night one with either one of those matches. At one point, I thought the women's triple threat could main event night one. But the build for the men's triple threat hasn't been amazing, but it's been better, and it's a bigger match than the women's triple threat. Jay and Gunther is absolutely, even after that angle last night, is absolutely fucking not opening, or not opening rather, but closing. Maybe opening, is not closing night one of WrestleMania. Not in any, in any universe is that closing night one. It just wouldn't make sense. It's got to be Punk, Roman, and Seth. The only downside to it is that we get no Rumble winners in the main event, which was actually his next question. He had said with the triple threat headlining night one and Cody Rhodes and John Cena definitely headlining night two. Have you noticed that WrestleMania 41 will be the first WrestleMania in 7 years to have not had any of the Rumble winners be in the main event? Yeah, I did think about that the other day. It would be the first one since Mania 38 when we got Roman and Brock one night Mania. And the Rumble winners were Asuka and Nakamura. They both lost at Mania 34, and neither main evented, probably for the better. But it's not like Roman and Brock was an instant classic. That match was pretty fucking boring at 34. But yeah, the thing is, this will be a great main event. It is main event worthy. But it kind of almost takes away from the fact of what Rollins did to Punk, is the whole point of why he fucked over Punk. Entrance music, please. Alexis is back and come on in. And we can address Tyreek in a moment. I know. I saw the whole drama going on in the chat. And he left probably anyway. He probably saw that you weren't here, not knowing that you would jump in the chat.
Oh, he knew exactly what he was doing.
He didn't pop in once today. He popped in twice.
He's got to go. He's so busy.
I love Tyreek.
What if it's like a celebrity in secret or something?
It's like fucking... Yeah, it's like a wrestler or something. Yeah.
It's like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is here. He should go.
Yeah, get out of here.
Anyway, it almost takes away from the fact that Rollins cost Punk the main event of Mania only for them to end up in the main event anyway. I would rather Punk have his first Mania main event, my personal opinion, when he faces like a Cody Rhodes next year for the WWE title. I'd much rather them have done that. But if they're going to close out with this and they add in the favor with something being at stake or a stipulation or something, that's fine too. So I'm very excited for Punk. I think it's great. But I'm also like, this could have been done better. Don't tell the narrative like, oh, Punk fucked up on, main eventing Mania. Like, what's the point? Like, winning the Rumble is important because it gets you a title shot at Mania. But part of the appeal is of also headlining. And not every, like, the women's Rumble winner hasn't main evented in, like, fucking 5 or 6 years. I get it. But the men's Rumble winner has. Cody main evented all those years in a row. Jay's not, which it shouldn't, but they probably should say in the future that you don't get a main event match at Mania if you win the Rumble. You get a world title match at Mania. They should probably rephrase that. Are they going to? They won't. But they should probably rephrase that. Abu Sika said, just saw your Mania 31 ending reaction, LOL. Yeah, so if you missed it, I found a random video in the archives. It was actually from my Facebook page. Leading up to Mania, and I'll probably post the whole thing at some point. Leading up to WrestleMania 31, I wanted to do a gimmick because I was so excited for Mania. This was 10 years ago. That I did a video blog on my channel every day, the road to Mania, and I would post a new video of me like getting excited for Mania or talking about Mania or whatever the fuck. Like they were all 2 or 3 minutes each, and I'll probably do like a compilation of all the video blogs. This was all on my Facebook page, and it's still up. You can still watch the videos and like the page, follow the page, whatever. What I did at Mania itself, though, I didn't go to Mania, but the night of Mania to kind of culminate the video blog, I filmed my reaction, not as it was happening, but after the fact, to Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of Mania. And it's like a 30-second video, and I thought it'd be funny around the 10-year anniversary of Mania 31, which was the other day. I put that video up here on the channel yesterday. And you could see Baby GSM, and Mr. Marceau is even in the video as well as my college roommate at the time, Connor, who's been here in the chats before. Acting very excited over the fact that Rollins cashed in, and I thought it was an amazing main event, and ending to WrestleMania, which it was. So you can catch that video now. It's here on the channel. If you like more classic content, throwback content like that, I'll be posting more stuff like that in the future. But I thought it'd be fitting to post that here on the channel because it never made its way to the YouTube channel before now. So thank you for checking out the ending reaction, Abu Sika. No L's here as we wind down. No L. Thank you for joining us. Great to see you. Richie said, Yoshitatsu broke his nose, or neck nose. What the fuck? Where'd I get nose from? Broke his neck to put over AJ Styles. What a goat. Yeah, Yoshitatsu, he was shortchanged. Hall of Fame, world champion. They fucked him over. Grun said, any hype for the Switch 2 Direct tomorrow, Alexis? Knowing that you're a gamer. They announced Nintendo Switch 2.
I saw,
I think it comes out in June, though. You said tomorrow. Is that like the announcement tomorrow, Grun? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, they already kind of, I think they had,
oh, the
like
Direct, yeah. Sorry.
What?
The Direct, I think the Direct is when they go over, like, what it is and whatnot.
Okay, because I was going to say, there was, like, a convention or something, and they announced what it could look like.
Yeah.
And I saw people talking about it who, maybe engineers or something, like an engineer reacted to it, and they were saying how it's just not, like, logistically, it's not a good quality, like, in terms of how they built it.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you just do?
I was just showing off my shirt. I forgot you can't see the shirt.
So. Oh. I'm honestly, he's more of the Nintendo player than I am. I'm more of, like, an Xbox, PS5, PS4 player. But that should be interesting. I'm very interested to see what the design's gonna look like, fully fleshed out.
I would get it and play it for the new, we played the new Mario Party a week or two ago. Great game. I mean, we already played it before that with Nick and Lindsay. Nick, I already answered Nick's question. Nick was not here in the chat, but I asked a question about, like, the Cena Cody promo or feud and whatever, so shout out to Nick. I thought you would appreciate that. We played the new Mario Party with them months ago, but we also played it with my sister recently. And it was great. I mean, it's a great game and very fun. We've played Mario Kart before. Yeah. I play Lego Star Wars on the Switch. I also played on my brother's Xbox. Ahmed said PlayStation over Xbox. Yeah, those fighting words for you.
No, the thing is, okay, I have an Xbox.
Oh, and Y, by the way. Oh, no. How do we pronounce Y's name? We had been over this before.
Oh, fuck. Okay, wait.
Why, if you're still here, first of all, thank you for joining us. Great to see you. Second of all, if you can put the pronunciation of your name, I should probably write it down. You wrote it down in the stream or something?
It was like Yo-Yo Spingucci or something?
Yo-Yo, yeah, Spingucci or something like that.
Spingucci?
Yeah. Let us know why. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
PlayStation is objectively better than Xbox in terms of, like, a whole bunch of different reasons, especially because of, like, the games that they come out with. They're better. But, yeah, I like them both for different reasons, but I have an Xbox, so Xbox has my heart.
Forgot to read this earlier. No L said, and we're going to wind down here in a couple minutes, so if you guys got any last minute questions or comments, chats, whatnot, be sure to let us know, and also like the video if you haven't already. No L said, at this point, winning the Royal Rumble doesn't matter. Forget main eventing manias. It's just to have a world title shot. I mean, to be perfectly honest, that's not even the case now. That has been the case for a very long time. I mean, now that they have two-night WrestleMania main events, there really is no reason from a storyline standpoint for the men to headline one night and for the women to headline the other night. The issue with that, and it's not really an issue, is that the women don't, WWE rather, not the women, they don't put up enough effort, they don't put in enough effort to making the women's matches matter to feel like they're the main event. Charlotte and Tiffany on paper is a great match, and I wanted that match at Mania. I'm glad we're getting it. Does it currently feel like a WrestleMania main event? Fuck no. It's probably 4 or 5 down the card. That's WWE's fault. But again, Charlotte won the Royal Rumble, so why isn't she main eventing WrestleMania? I know people won't complain about that, but theoretically they should main event both nights. They really should not say that winning the Rumble earns you. They should not say that it earns you a WrestleMania main event, because it just doesn't make sense. So, I don't know. I wish they would stop saying that, because it's not even like this has been the case forever. If you go back to like 06, Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble in 06. He got a world title shot at Mania. He fucking was in the middle of the show, winning the world title in 8 minutes. Doesn't make any sense. Triple H and John Cena won the Rumble in 08, cashed in his title shot early at No Way Out, lost or won by DQ or whatever the fuck it was, and their match did not even go on last at 24. It was their triple threat went on in the middle. So, I mean, the Royal Rumble has been devalued for a long time in that respect, as far as, not main eventing Mania. Del Rio won the fucking Rumble in 2011. I'll read the rest of them in a second. Del Rio won the Rumble in 2011. He fucking opened the show that year. You know what I mean? Like, they really should not be saying, and they should not have been saying for the longest time, that it gets you a main event, because it doesn't. But they're going to keep saying it because it's sexy. It sounds sexy to be like, oh, you earn a WrestleMania main event. Well, you might if your match is booked well going into the show, but if it's not, you don't get the fucking main event. You might be lucky to open the show, though. Y said...
Yo-Yo Spiangusi.
Yes.
Yeah. We pretty much got it, but I was going to go back in one of the older streams and find it.
Yeah, from Mania 26, yeah. All right, I'll have to copy and paste that for the next time Y joins us, and I can properly...
Yo-Yo Spiangusi joins us,
yes. Because you may not always be here. She's been here the last 2 times Y was on the streams, but the next time you might not be.
Say the name.
Yo-Yo Y Spingusi. Yo-Yo. No, it's Yo-E-O.
Yeah, Yo-Yo.
Yo-E-O. Spingusi. Ilichengawa. Kwa. I'm terrible at pronunciation. I apologize.
He is.
Yo-Yo Spengusi. But anyway, Maria said 2 different times, the both of you should do more streams together. The chemistry there is awesome. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate it. If you missed it, you may have been there. I don't remember, but we did a Mania. I said this earlier as we wind down here, and I'll go back to Richie's comment in a second and Grun's. We did if you missed it, a Mania 26 watch-along on Friday on the 15-year anniversary of that show. Good show. We had a fun time rewatching it, eating food, we got the reaction. You get our reaction of the news when we found out from Ahmed, actually, that The Weeknd is the fucking Mania theme song again.
Yep.
We have Fiend, but it's the secondary song. They didn't play it on Raw last night, but we found out live on the stream, which was incredible because now we have that reaction forever. Otherwise, I would have found out and I would have told her. It would have been fine. But now we have it immortalized on video, which is amazing. So anyway, if you like the chemistry here, first of all, thank you. Second of all, check out the Mania 26 watch along. Third of all, we might do more in the future. And fourth of all, she'll be back here on the show or another stream in the future. As far as the next watch along, Ahmed asked, I might want to do one if you guys are interested. I'll ask you now. It is Fiend and Timeless. You're correct, Ahmed. If you guys are interested, it's not going to be in the anniversary because the anniversary was this past Sunday. Mania 24. If that's something that you're interested in, let me know. I love that show. Holds a special place in my heart. It's not 7 hours. It's a little less than 4. I might do it this weekend on Saturday or Sunday. It might be Friday. Probably Saturday, though. So if you guys are curious, let me know. And we might do a Mania 24 watch along. I might end up, or Mania 28, Ahmed said. That's a good one. That's a good one. I might end up doing it. What I'm considering doing. Fernando said very interested. Thank you. And Grunt said through the power of salt. You got your weekend because he said that during the watch along. Through salt.
The salt circle.
Yeah. What I might do, I think that the Mania 26 watch along I enjoyed. It was a test run though. What I might do in the future is once I open up memberships and stuff like that, as part of the exclusive content would be to do watch-alongs. So I wouldn't do a watch-along every week here on the channel for like, as part of the regular routine. It's just a lot. But maybe like once a month we can do a watch-along of whatever you guys want to do. I am absolutely not fucking doing a 24-hour stream average, Grunt. I appreciate... Oh! That's not what you said. He said for a 24 stream, WrestleMania 24. I thought he was trying to say 24-hour stream.
Oh.
I can't read clearly. Maria said, yes, I'm totally down with that watch along. Today is 13 years since Mania 28. It is. I'm not doing a Mania 28 watch along today. We're going to wind down here in a few minutes, but most likely. But yeah, anyway, so once I open that up soon, I'll probably do a watch along for anyone that wants to sign up for a membership of any show that you guys want to watch, whether it be a classic match, it could be a classic show, an old Mania, and it might be 24. So keep an eye out for that. I'll have more information on that front on the community tab here on the channel this week or next week, and we can definitely do it. That would be fun. A couple questions here from earlier on, and Daniel also said, Graham trying to pronounce those names has me weak.
Yes.
Brother, I am fucking awful at pronunciation.
He is, and he also a lot of times will like swap things. If there's a list of stuff, he swaps like 2 of them. And
so I'm
dyslexic
funny. Is what you're saying. Thanks. Not next. Richie said, what do both of y'all think would have happened had Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt wrestled the TLC years ago? Do you think Bray essentially would have been dressed in Sister Abigail drag? So this was before your time. They were having... Finn and Bray were feuding, okay? They had a match at SummerSlam where Finn was the Demon, and Finn beat him as the Demon. They had a rematch in No Mercy the next month, and it was a regular match where Finn was himself, and Finn won again. So then they had a third match. They were going to have a third match. Bray got like the measles or the mumps or something like that. I don't know. And he had to call out of the show. And they had to change plans. But it was advertised as Finn being the Demon. And Bray was going to bring his alter ego. In the fucking graphic, if you Google it, he has like a veil over his head. I think a lot of people expected him to be Sister Abigail. That might have been the plan. And it looked terrible. And they never went back to that, by the way, either. Because it was so bad. It probably would have been, he probably would have been a Sister Abigail. But because we didn't get that match, we got Balor and AJ for the first time ever in WWE instead, which was 1,000,000 times better. So everything happened for a reason. That's probably what would have happened, though. He probably would have been in Sister Abigail drag, and it might have gone down as one of the worst matches or moments in recent WWE history. But we'll never know. It's forever a what if. Grunt said, what kind of games are you into? I'm into platformers, Metro... Here's another mispronunciation for you. Metrodvanias? I don't know what that says.
Where is this? I can't...
Metrodvanias. And JRPGs myself, and of course, wrestling games.
I used to play a lot of PC games, like...
Sims.
I do love The Sims. Yeah, like create your own character. Those are fun. But my favorite are open world games. I love playing open world games.
We played Jedi Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh my
God.
The
first one or the second one?
Second one.
Amazing Fallen Order is the first one. We played both, and they're great games.
Amazing game. Cyberpunk. I love Cyberpunk. I did enjoy Starfield. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it. Right now, one of my friends, Nick's wife, actually, she got me into playing Infinity Nikki, which is a free game. It's only on PlayStation, so I'm playing it on my brother's PlayStation right now. But it's like fashion, and you can explore this like village, and you get unlocked new areas. Like, it's so fun and it's so relaxing. Stardew Valley, big fan of Stardew Valley and like Minecraft, stuff like that. The Indiana Jones game too, I finished that, and I'm starting the Hogwarts Legacy game. Kind of boring.
You did
so
the
far.
Star Wars Outlaws game too.
Oh, Outlaws! Yes, I love Outlaws. That's a classic for me. I know a lot of people don't really like that game, but
Metroidvania is my guy.
Metroidvanias.
Yeah. Sorry. Do not ask me to pronounce your name at a fucking graduation or a wedding or something. I would get it wrong.
Yeah, he's bad.
I'm not going to be an announcer. Let's put it that way. Anyway.
Yeah, mostly open world games and like create your own type things. Like, I'll just say this. For Minecraft, I've never once played survival mode. It's always creative mode for me.
For me, I'm not a regular gamer that's well established, but we played the Star Wars games. Those were great. I grew up, and I said this on Twitter recently because the anniversary was the other day. Lego Star Wars, I love the Lego games. Played all those, most of them, love them. Great games, simple. I'm a simple-minded guy, so anything that's easy I like. Still love Mario Kart. Played the fuck out of Smash Bros. Growing up, I was way more of a Nintendo guy, although I do own a PS4 and I own a PS2. The SVR games, obviously. The 2K games now, obviously. We play those here on the channel. That's really about it. Star Wars Battlefront is also my shit. Anything that takes me a long time to do, I just don't have the mental capacity for it at this point, unless I really, really try, but it's tough. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of games, but those are the main ones for me. I'm not really a constant gamer now, obviously, aside from the ones that I just mentioned. The AEW game, we played that for a little bit. We tried that. That was fun, specifically for the Brawl Everywhere mode or whatever the fuck that was. That was fun, but I'd put that under the wrestling game category. I used to play N64, actually. I would play Rainbow Six on N64. Rampage I liked. No Mercy, WCW, NWO, Revenge I thought was great. A lot of those sort of games. It said WWE 2017 through 2019 when the creative was at its worst. Yeah, that period was fucking awful. A lot of people stopped watching during that point. And that was when Alexis actually started watching again. So the best part about you watching at that point is starting to watch again in 2018 when we were watching together was that it can't honestly get much worse than that. So it's like, if you can get through that, then it's only going to get better from there.
Yeah.
Which is proven to be true.
It's oddly enough nostalgic for me. Not in a good way. But...
We actually watched back, this isn't 2019 or anything, but we watched back the first COVID SmackDown recently. What a fucking trip that was.
Bad.
Well, I mean, it was fun. Like, it's like, oh my God, like, this is like, oh, we thought it was like a novelty thing. Like, oh, this is only going to be a short-lived thing. And then it was that way for the next year and a half or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Fernando said, do you have any idea... We were robbed of Pumpkin Valor, Eric Grunsa. Do you have any idea where Alexa Bliss is? She came and went like the wind.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard that with the Fanatics thing in WWE World, she was advertised and now she's not. So I don't know if it's because she's hurt. She just resigned. So, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. How could she even be hurt? She was in the Chamber and in the Rumble and one qualifying match. She hasn't really done a whole lot. So I don't know. She hasn't been seen since Chamber, I don't think. Hopefully she's okay. Maybe they don't know what to do with her storyline yet with the Wyatt Six. I have no idea.
I don't think she should even be doing any of that, to be honest with you.
I think it makes sense.
Of course it makes sense, but I don't know.
I think you have her team with Nikki for a little bit, and then she can go off and do her own thing,
But it can't last long. Whatever they do, it can't be a permanent thing.
It can't be a repeat of Nikki doing or Alexa doing whatever she did in 2021. That shit was terrible.
Well,
I don't think that's what it would be, though.
My whole thing is, like, I've said this before, this is such, like, a delicate thing because Bray isn't here to help guide the storylines and stuff. And Bray's not perfect. He never had perfect ideas, but at the same time, like, to me, at least, you have to handle this very carefully so you don't disrespect, like, his original plans and, like, you don't kind of do wrong by him. So... I don't know if they run it into the ground. I mean, they're not on the show at all, so that's
and
another
they haven't
problem,
been for months. One of them got hurt, and that isn't really an excuse for me. I think it was Bray Dallas. What am I even? Bryce Dallas Howard. Is that what I'm trying to say here? Bo Dallas. That's what I meant to say. I think he was hurt, so I think that's why they were off the show. But they're not on the show now. They don't have anything from them at Mania, I guess. I don't know. No idea what's going on there. WWE 2016 was very good. Peak AJ Styles, SmackDown, Live, Dean Ambrose, Cash-In, Cena, AJ feud. I love 2016. There were a lot of points in 2016 where the product was not good. But Shane's comeback that year was a lot of fun. Goldberg coming back was cool. The brand split got brought back was great. The women's title kind of got brought back. It was the Divas title up until Mania that year. Mania itself that year sucked, but there were a lot of things to like about that year. Babyface, Rollins, SmackDown in 2016. I'm most nostalgic towards personally. That might be my favorite period of SmackDown ever, to be perfectly honest with you. Amazing time for SmackDown. So yeah, I wouldn't call 2016 like peak. I mean, you call it peak AJ Styles. But yeah, 2016 in WWE overall was very good. Some points that were not so good, but there was a lot about 2016 in WWE that was indeed great. Daniel said, nah, I need a stream of Graham reading lyrics and difficult names.
Yes.
If you give me a list, I'll fucking do it. Maybe that can be our goal for the next one. I think Richie or someone said earlier, Wrestle Rap or Wrestle Wop.
Wrestle Wop.
Wrestle Wop today? No Wrestle Wop today. Maybe. Alexis is here, but it's not as funny if she's here, I don't think. Grunt said, it's actually more like Metroidvania. So that's a blunder on my end. Well, thank you for the correction, Grunt. I gotta study up on this shit. Fernando said, do any of you remember Minecraft? Because I do not.
What do you mean you don't remember Minecraft?
Was that a joke? Because the movie comes out this Friday, so I thought you already bought tickets, Fernando.
Yeah,
we are going to see that movie.
I need to see how bad it's going to be.
I was not going to see it, but honestly, it's at a case now where I don't care, but I want to see how fucking bad it is. I'm not paying full price for it. Whenever Mike is here, and he's not, shout out to Micah, he always asks on Tuesdays, oh, what are you guys seeing today on $5 Tuesday? I think the last movie that we saw was Paddington, right? You saw the
it was the wrestling movie.
Oh, right. It was not a Tuesday. Yeah, Queen of the Ring we saw a couple weeks ago, but I'm probably see Minecraft next Tuesday for $5.
I wish it was like some sort of dystopian, like the whole concept of the game. Spoiler alert is that it was all a dream, and that like it's basically a simulation. We will be giving that movie money, not as much of our money. It's like a whole simulation. That's the whole preface of the game. So they should have done something like that, and also made it animated. Like the fact that they didn't make it animated is just.
It looks fucking terrible.
It looks so bad.
Richie is advocating for piracy here on the stream.
Hey, maybe we could movies 1, 2, 3 that. Or 1, 2, 3
he's got
movies.
He's got to arg. Well, let's not give away any links here, but he's saying we should arg the movie. Honestly, not a terrible idea. We don't need to get greenlit. We don't need it to get greenlit for a sequel, is what he's saying.
They're gonna do that anyways.
I don't know about that. I mean, who was saying Dylan? Was it Dylan or your brother? He was like, "Oh, it's gonna make a lot of money." Like, honestly, I don't know, dude. I don't think so. I don't agree.
Yeah.
He thinks that the movie will be bad, but it's gonna make a lot of money. Mario made a lot of money because the word of mouth got out that the movie was great, and that could have been bad, but it ended up being amazing. I thought that was going to be good. I never thought it would be bad, but I thought there was a chance it could be bad. Minecraft, yeah, kids will go see it, but it's not. I mean, Minecraft is more appealing than Borderlands, but Borderlands made almost no money at all, and that had big names in it too. I mean, so you can't just say, oh, well, yeah, it's a video game movie, it's going to do well. Not necessarily. If word gets out that it's fucking terrible, then it may not make money, but we'll see. It will at least make $10 between our 2 tickets next Tuesday. Ahmed said that year was the best AJ Styles that we've seen in WWE's first year in the company and already WWE champion. I rewatched, I hadn't seen it probably since it happened, if not soon after. But about a week ago, I had a hankering, if that's the right word, to watch the No Mercy match between Cena, AJ, and Ambrose for the WWE title on that show. And it opened the show. It wasn't the main event. They ended with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt instead. No title on the line, just a random match. And it sucked. But I think it was because like the presidential debate was on that night and they wanted to get the main events out of the way early, I think. I don't remember. But anyway, I went back and watched that match recently. Fucking great match. Cena was still putting in actual effort into his matches. He was having a string of great matches in 2016 for the most part. He wasn't phoning it in like he would in 2017 onward. AJ was at his peak. He is still very good, but in 2016 he was on another fucking level. And even Ambrose was in there, busting his ass. And for all the talk about, oh, Ambrose is lazy, like he's complacent, blah, blah, blah. He didn't have the greatest WWE title reign, I get that. But like even at that point, he was in there having great matches with a lot of people, including Cena and AJ in that triple threat. Love SmackDown in 2016. Grunt said, agreed, Alexis, most movies based on games should be animated.
Well, especially that one, but also because there's so many good like indie animators out there on YouTube that have animated Minecraft scenes before, and it looks miles better than the fucking trailer. Like the trailer looks like a Temu movie.
Yeah.
It looks bad.
Fernando said, I have a great idea for a fun stream for the both of you. You debate various topics, like for an hour. That would be lots of fun. That's a good idea.
I like that idea.
I like that idea. And again, I think that's something that we could do for a future stream, like for a membership stream or something. That wouldn't be something I do every week, obviously, but for like a once-a-month thing, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that a lot.
Yeah, no, she's mentioned stuff like that before, not with each other, but like I debate topics or whatever, but us doing it together, I feel like would be cool too.
I have a lot of good ideas that he hasn't used yet. So.
Some of which aren't good, but some of which are good. You gotta be honest, right? Gotta call a spade a spade. Some ideas don't work or won't work, or I don't think I would do, or I don't think are good. But some ideas are great. The WrestleRanks was her idea.
Mm-hmm.
Doing streams was her idea. This camera that I'm using right now, she got for me.
And the light.
And the light. We're using a light. So, a lot of great ideas. Some not so good ideas. Some not so good ideas for me, too. I'm not a fucking genius. We all need to be humbled here, right? Happy April Fools. Let's see. Richie said as we wind... I say wind down. That was like 30 minutes ago. But I will wind down for sure in a couple minutes. I have to eat. Richie said, it'll make a lot of money, the movie, because a lot of kids that don't know better and their parents have to drag them to see it. Yeah, but again, Borderlands, I know it's not Minecraft, but again, that's a movie that you would think that kids would have been dragged to go, like drag their parents to go see in the summer, no less, when there's no school. And again, that movie made no fucking money. Now again, the advertising for Minecraft is way higher. They have a way bigger budget. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. I am not convinced that this is going to make a lot of money. I think it'll make money. Do I think it's going to make a lot of money? We'll see. We'll discuss that next week after the weekend numbers come out. I do not think it will be great at all. Because he said, oh, Borderlands was the case because it looked like ass from the jumps. I mean, Minecraft looks fucking terrible, too. So.
It does. It looks like a Halloween skit.
Looks awful. Like, if your big hook is Jennifer Coolidge dating a fucking Minecraft character, then you know you're fucked. They just completely pivoted with the advertising because they know whatever they were going for originally looked like ass. So now they're like going for like, oh, it's so bad you have to see it. God bless. And guess what? It worked.
What would she say to the villager?
You're better at it than I am.
Oh my god, I love Minecraft.
Terrible. We'll see what she says. She's fucking dating the villager.
I love dating villagers from Minecraft. Oh my god.
Let's keep it G here. We're not going to go. Let's keep it PG. We're not going to go any further
That's
than
as far as I'm going. But let me know if that was a good impression. I'm very proud of that one.
Graham and Alexis, Richie said, what is your favorite near fall from a match? That's a great question. I think for me, there's definitely other ones, but I think number one for me, and this is a number one for a lot of people, the sweet shin music into the pedigree from Mania 28, end of an era, Hell in a Cell. That I think is my... I did not think the streak was ending, but I think for a split second, I thought the streak was ending when that near fall was hit. The sweet chin music from special guest ref Sean, into the pedigree from Triple H on Taker, thought that match was it. Any near falls come to you?
The only one that I can think of is during Roman and Cody Part 2 when Solo spiked him, that motherfucker that he is.
And then the Roman spear at the same time,
Yep. They did the same exact thing that they did in LA.
Yeah.
And then he kicked out.
That would have been my favorite near fall, 39, except it ended the match. So.
Moving on.
Yeah. Thank you, Richie. That near fall was fantastic. Richie said, I think to you, what the fuck, yo? For your impression.
I can do a good Jennifer Coolidge impression, I think. I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's another good one.
I need validation.
Richie said 2 off the top of my head I can think of are Taker Michaels 25, when Jim Ross said he's having an out-of-body experience. I love that one. He does the tombstone. I think Michaels goes for a moonsault. I have to watch the match again. It's amazing. He does a moonsault off the top, does Michaels. Taker catches him in a fucking tombstone. You didn't see that shit back then, by the way. Like, you see that shit now in AEW on an average Rampage.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that shit.
They make it less special over there.
WWE does too, to be fair. But, like, I'm just saying, you see this shit all the time now. It's watered down. But in 2009, it was special. Moonsault into a tombstone. Like, now it's not like, oh, he's going to win because we know Taker wins. But at the time, you're like, oh, fuck. Like, who knows? And he pins him, and you think that's it. And he gets a 2 count, and Taker kicks out, and it zooms in on Taker's face. Or Shawn kicks out, sorry. And Taker, you get the zoom in on his face, where he's, like, beside himself, and his head is laying on top of Michaels' like, shoulder or stomach or something. It's fucking great. And then he also said Gargano, Cole, and Johnny won the NXT title. We were there for that match. That was an amazing match. You take over New York in April 2019. I don't know what near fall exactly you're talking about. That entire match was a giant fucking near fall, but it was a great match, though. Grunt said his favorite was Omega kicking out at 1 from Ospreay's One-Winged Angel Forbidden Door 2023, just because I was there for it. The highlight of the night, no doubt. That was a great match. Grunt said just above Kojima, elbow dropping Punk in the crotch. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was a great spot. So now we are legitimately winding down here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Anyone that was here earlier, here now. That includes Tyreek. Tyreek still has yet to explain himself, but it's okay. Him and Love Ziggler both. At some point. We know he's here.
Mm-hmm. I know you're there.
Fernando said agree the moonsault into the tombstone was incredible. But yeah, guys, this was a lot of fun. Glad Alexis could join in here. And the last-minute run-in. NXT was carrying WWE 2017 through 2019. It absolutely was. And the near fall when Undisputed Era demolished Johnny. Cole hit him with his finisher, but Johnny still somehow kicked it. I do remember that. That was a great near fall. Tyreek might go best heel of all time. Yeah. Thank you for coming on. Sure will not be the last time that Alexis will be on a stream or hashtag. She'll be on hashtag again in the future and a stream in general probably sometime very soon. I'd be surprised. And Tyreek's #1 fan agrees. Tyreek is the best. And Tyrese, both of them, Ahmed says.
Oh my God, thanks for having me on the podcast. I love talking. Makes me think of the 4th of July.
I'm going to ignore that. Daniel said love Tyreek. Love Ziggler and love Tyreek. We all love Tyreek. Hey, Tyreek, hey!
Hey, Tyreek, what's your Love Ziggler nickname?
Tyreek won me over and everyone else in the chat. Guess who he didn't win over? Alexis.
No, because I put him in timeout. He's pissing me off. He's just straight up ignoring us. I actually can't with you, Tyreek. What the hell?
Fernando said the both of you were fantastic together. Thank you, Fernando. I appreciate that. Love Ziggler. Love Tyreek. Love Ziggler. Love life. You know, it's like live, laugh, love.
Yeah.
Love Tyreek. Love Ziggler. Love life. That's what I say. Richie said Tyreek, Reigns, Jericho 8, and Tyreek again for best heels.
You need to hear the impression in person, Richie. Yeah.
Yeah, another reason.
I'm telling him we're hanging out soon. We have to hang out with him.
We shall. Going into Mania will be kind of busy, but after that, I think we'll not have a clear schedule, but it gets only busier in the summer. We will definitely hang out with Richie. Tyreek and Alexis got the Punk McIntyre heat. Yeah, fuck yeah. Seriously, you do. Grunt, thank you for joining us, dude. He said, "Take care, everyone. Don't forget about the ticks. PSA. Don't get that Lyme disease like Justin Bieber. Wear long pants and shirts in tall grass." I agree, Grunt.
Yeah. This weekend.
Today? Question mark.
Today.
We'll go see Minecraft together.
Alexis, you'll come around one day.
Yeah, you will. Disney Cringe Films Fest in
Elm
Street. No, and Minecraft, Richie.
Yes.
You don't want to give that movie your money, but you will. If you want to hang out.
3 characters in wrestling that I hate. Shane McMahon, Solo Sikoa, and Tyreek.
Oh! Richie says...
Mike, drop.
Richie says, W stream and W chat as usual. Thank you, Richie. We love you. We will definitely catch you on the next one. And again, thank you for everyone for joining, sending in the questions. For everyone that sent in the questions ahead of time, during the show, watching after the fact, we appreciate you. We love you. We want to support the show. Not as much as we love Ziggler. Tyreek. Tyreek t-shirt design coming soon for sure.
We're totally making a Tyreek t-shirt and he ain't getting a penny of it.
No, not a dime. He gets 0 royalties. Fuck that. Richie said the parking lot pavement will see the parking lot pavement will see me before Minecraft does.
Oh, that's funny.
Love the game, though, he says. Yeah, be sure to like the video, guys. Drop a comment on the video if you're watching after the fact. Drop a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button to be notified every single time a new video drops and every single time we go live here on the channel, which the next time should be not only on Thursday for WrestleRant Radio, but breaking news here. I mean, I've said this before. It's not really, breaking news, but I've alluded to it before. What I'm probably going to do tomorrow, go live, first time ever, with 2K25. We went live for 2K25 last week. You were actually on that stream, too, so you've been on a lot of streams lately. A lot of exposure for Alexis. I might go live for 2K25 tomorrow, playing GM mode. Hashtag GSM for GM Season 4, Episode 1, 2K25. Might be going live with it. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it crashes. Might not do it every Wednesday live. It might be taped most weeks. We're going to play with it tomorrow. So if I do go live with it, it should be around 11, 12 a.m., p.m., whatever, like 11 a.m., 12 p.m., noon. Keep an eye out for that. That'll be a lot of fun. So anyway, 3 people. I hate my Via. Talking about Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
Die Rocky die for Alexis. It's die Tyreek die. Oh, maybe not. Well, actually, I don't want to say. I don't want Tyreek to die. I don't want to say.
No, we don't want that.
No,
we're just annoyed with him.
Richie said GSM for GM live ? I think so. And Richie also said GSM for GM on Netflix.
Hell yeah.
Right. Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Fuck Raw. Watch that instead. Coming up tomorrow, most likely. Maybe not. Most likely, I will be doing that. So enough talking. We got to get going here, guys. Thank you so much for checking out the show. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. Have an awesome rest of your week. And last thing, if you want to send in a question to the show for the show next week, you could do so. Tweet me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant, hashtag AskGSM. Find me on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Graham.GSM.Matthews. Drop a comment on the post I usually put up on Tuesday nights, if not on the wall itself. And last but certainly not least, drop your question down below in the comment section on this very video. I'll include your question in episode 593 next week here on the show. Until next time, guys, have an awesome one. For Alexis, I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and we'll catch your ass down the road.